The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
We here at Trick or Treat Radio just want our friends in Texas to know that we are thinking about them, and specifically our brother from Atomic Age Media, Jeremy McFarland. We love you, man. I know that this has been a kick in the balls, but if anybody can hang tough, it's you, my brother. We love you, and welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 266 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and we also review big Hollywood movies from time to time, huh?
Oh, we've changed our format.
No, we haven't, but we are doing something a little bit different tonight. But as Dynamo said, yes, our love goes out to everyone that was affected by the horrible tragedy in Texas. And
The act of God, I guess. I mean, it certainly is a tragedy, but
Yeah, it's pretty biblical.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's bad.
I know you can sail an arc on that goddamn.
Raven
water
Chow, you
now.
read the Bible?
They made a book out of that?
You like the movie?
Yeah, the one with the fucking
Charles
Riggs,
Eston?
yeah, that Riggs made.
Riggs movie.
He's fucking crazy. That Riggs movie.
That Riggs movie.
What do you say, Pontius Pilate? I'm getting too old for this.
What would you do to that fucking dude, Joel Osteen, the dude who didn't open up his church for people?
Yeah, what's that dude all about? Is he like, what is he? Is he a new?
He's barely considered a human being.
He's like that guy from Walking Dead that wouldn't open the doors when the zombies came in.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If he had an accident, would that be so bad?
Not to me.
I just hate that people are using this as an excuse to bash, organized religion and stuff like that. Because not everyone.
No,
in
it's
every
just this dude.
organization
He's
is
a
bad. That's
dick,
a
yeah.
douche. But I've seen tons of people be like, "Oh, fuck organized, fuck religion and fuck
Yep.
this."
That would
That's
be
just-
me
it's just
too.
dude.
That would be me too. I'm on that list.
You're on a lot of lists, buddy. Watch out.
None of them on the FBI list. Thank you very much.
Never let it be said that you're not someone who dwells in broad generalizations without any like.
That had Mars laughing all week.
I seldom
Jesus
go back
Christ.
and listen to the show, but
Oh, man. So, also, I would be remiss if we didn't mention early on the loss of a legend in Tobe Hooper.
Damn straight.
MZ, I know you've been a big fan for a long time.
Long time.
So, do you have any words about what the man meant to horror?
Well, I never met the guy myself, but everybody who has met him has always said that he's one of the nicest people you could have ever met,
Yeah.
and with a very dark sense of humor. And I guess that kind of portrays well into his Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's weird. You always hear about how, these really nice guys, really pleasant to talk to, intelligent film directors who go out and make these once-in-a-lifetime films.
Yeah.
You know? And
that's one of the greatest of all time.
just the scope of it, really nice guy, quiet, very pleasant to talk to. Makes one of the most sadistic films ever made, and it's a masterpiece of horror cinema. It's a shame, I mean, kind of ironic that he died when he was 74 and his best film came out in 74.
Mars almost had a heart attack. Did you know that was going to happen?
She meant that door, I guess.
So our special guest is now
Hey.
in studio, and we'll let her get settled in before start asking questions and everything. So,
Class in the join up.
oh yeah, absolutely, like tenfold. So, yeah, it's a shame about Tobe Hooper and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is easily one of the greatest horror films of all time.
I mean, the guy's put out a bunch of really good films. He put out a lot of shit too later in his career. But
Yeah.
I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. What else?
Eaten Alive.
Invaders from Mars, Eaten Alive.
Life Force.
That's what I'm thinking of. Life Force. Great flick. But then he also did The Mangler and a couple of other cheap shit films like that. But you know what?
Mortuary.
Mortuary.
But you know what? Like,
Yeah.
those guys had to work, right? Like the tail end of these horror legends' careers are much maligned a lot of time, but like, you got to keep the fucking light on.
Oh,
like,
sure.
That dude,
You got to keep the lights on, Raven Shadow, right?
I'm fucking trying, man.
that dude didn't get rich from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No. The only people that got rich from Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the mafia.
Allegedly.
Did you get a cut of that, Raven?
Yeah, you
I don't even
speaking
know.
for the
I don't
mafia
know.
now?
No, I'm just saying that they may exist. It might not. It hasn't been proven yet. You don't want to say that.
I don't think it's like aliens.
Yeah.
They definitely exist.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Maybe you.
Alien. This isn't Bigfoot we're talking about here. This is the mafia.
Listen. The views of Trick or Treat Radio does not subscribe to Michael Raven Shadow.
Did not subscribe. Yeah, we don't.
No, yeah, no.
You're right. We don't subscribe to
That's
you.
right.
Yeah.
If Frankie the Mallet's out there and Louis Dispatch, I don't know nothing.
Joey the Fish.
Cancel that subscription.
Yeah. I don't even read.
I'm not even on the boat anymore.
I'm off the boat.
All right, Mars. I think our in studio guest has gotten settled in. Do you want the honors of introducing?
Oh, I thought that I was going to be in the National Honor Society.
No, you're far from that.
Tiny often likes to remind me that in the class we graduated in,
Yeah.
I was 65th in our class of a class of 62. There was a bad
That's a small class.
there's a bad pregnancy epidemic. Yes. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I can't see, so everything's intimidating on this side of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the front woman of the Deadites, the probably the
probably.
yeah, no, well, I didn't want to. She always gets mad at me when I say too many nice things, so I'm trying to like make it seem like she's okay. The queen of mediocrity. In my opinion, the hardest working lady in all of music, the biggest badass in all of the Deadites, and probably the greatest cook of veggie lasagna ever. Ladies and gentlemen, Donna Matrix.
Hello. I think 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
You missed us talk about Tobe Hopper and Joel Osteen.
I wouldn't say I was missing it, Bob.
Ooh.
The Mafia.
And the mafia.
Allegedly.
And whether or not they're real or not.
Yeah.
What is Sopranos about?
It's a TV show.
It's about a family.
Yeah, family just trying to make things
Yeah.
make ends meet, keep the lights on.
Godfather, Donnie Brasco.
Listen, there's a lot of relative terms.
There's a lot of alien movies too, right? Right, Shadow?
You know what I mean?
Next you're
never
going to
seen a
tell me
moonwalk.
that Game of Thrones is not real.
No, dragons are real. I've seen them.
You don't watch Game of Thrones, do you?
Me? Oh,
No. I know you do. You were like there's a lot of people eating crow because you were an early supporter and everybody made fun of you for it. And now,
see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching a while, but
But Miss M, you don't.
thank you.
No, I don't. Mostly because I didn't have whatever channel it was on when it started. I know I could watch it all now, but that's a lot of binging. And I know everything since people are really vocal about.
And I think one of the characters in the show, Tyrion Lannister, stole your gimmick. His gimmick is, I drink and I know things. It's kind of like your thing, right?
That is my thing.
And sing, if you want to add sing in there too.
You know. No, really, it's those two things. Speaking of which,
Now it's only guests
We
that
got
can do
the
that, Michael
flask.
Raven Shadow.
What's that?
It's only guests that can drink in the studio.
This sucks.
last time Last time you guys promised me whiskey and there was no whiskey.
There is some now.
No, it's not. It's in this thing.
No, it's right here.
Oh shit! It grew back.
I grew back. That's Aries. It's Aries special blend.
It's gonna be my special blend in a minute.
What'd you have the blind up? Did the sun get on it? It really, that was.
I can't believe it's right near you, Raven Shadow.
Suck. That's how you fool me.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I'm looking all around. I'm looking in the rafters.
Now I don't have to drink my good stuff. I can drink Gary's shit.
This sucks. Month zero, move.
To Charlton.
Raven Shadow, maybe we'll let you dip your finger in it and rub it around your gums.
Does it have to be my finger?
What else do you want it to be?
I don't know. I'm into some weird shit
You want
now.
to dip your ding dong in it and rub it around your gums?
Well, if it's gonna be that kind
Listen,
of party.
that's good. That's impressive. If you can actually dip your ding dong in that and rub it around your gums,
I'll tell you this.
I think we'd all actually like to see that.
Before the show started,
preview content.
Monster Zero's like, I wish I was home watching Bride of Frankenstein, but if I could dip my ding dong in the drink and then put it in my mouth, I assure you I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't do anything.
So
Bet you Milton Berle could do it.
thank you, Aries, for leaving the Kennedy Original whiskey with natural flavor and caramel.
Thank you, Buenos
Cheers.
Aires.
It's from West Cork, Ireland. So
Oh, it smells really sweet. You drink this shit?
it does have natural flavor and caramel.
How is it?
It's really sweet. It's
Yeah.
much sweeter than a bourbon. Like much sweeter. There's it tastes like
Well,
it tastes a little bit like caramel syrup was poured in.
we did say that Aries was America's sweetheart.
It is true.
So
He did
actually, he's America's sweet tooth.
sweet drunk.
I like the packaging, but the flavors, I couldn't drink a lot of it. Maybe that's why he's drinking it, so he doesn't drink a lot of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fair enough.
He finished the other whiskey and then drank that much of that whiskey.
Youch.
So
See, that's an alien.
No, it's a helmet.
It's not an alien, you asshole.
It's an Irish. It's a
I don't
Celtic
know.
warrior.
Oh, it is a
Celtic
Celtic
warrior.
warrior. Okay.
Fuck.
I'm going to give you a Roman helmet later.
whoa, hey now.
Hey now.
Yeah,
So-
that was Russian hands and Roman fingers. You better look out.
So we have a few people hanging out in the chat room. We got Cecil hanging out.
Bamba.
We got Cromcast Josh.
Hey.
Oh, I got another one for you, Josh. Get the checkbook out.
What is it?
You ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new mascot of the Cromcast, Crom Cruise.
I like it.
Crom and Jerry.
What?
Crom and Jerry, like the Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, you just use the same name.
It's like when
He
you
said
ri-
Tom and you said Tom.
Well, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah, go
all right,
fuck
good.
yourself.
It's like
Alright.
occasionally when you rhyme the same word.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fucking whatever the fuck.
And we also have, I think, Slagoth this year. He said Bullet Bourbon's my favorite.
Bullet's pretty good, but not my favorite.
We got Mark Sheetsy.
Hey.
Gee, I
and-
can't wait for you to meet the Sheetses, Miss him.
Yeah.
They're good folk. You'll love them.
I like good folk.
And Cromcast Josh says, "How dare you guys promise whiskey and not provide it?" Well, if you're here, Josh, we got some.
I provided all the whiskey for myself,
Well, actually, Aries provided
and
it.
then
It's
Aries
true, yeah.
provided. No, this,
Well, that she provided. on her.
Is that not enough for you, Mr. Lush?
So on this evening's show, we are going to review, as we mentioned early, we're going to do a big blockbuster film, Hollywood film. We're doing The Mummy, featuring Tom Cruise. We typically don't do these big budget Hollywood pictures, but it hit VOD. We wanted to talk a little bit about it. Mars wanted to talk about it. We wanted to talk some more about Universal films, so we figured it was right for the picking. And we're going to talk and discuss 2017's The Mummy, and then also throughout the show, Marsman has compiled
name.
a list of his top 13 favorite Universal monster movies.
It's true.
Now, Marsman,
Yes, man.
instead of doing all in one segment, you wanted to spread this one out a little bit.
Wow, yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, it was your idea.
Hence why it's so good.
So, do you want to go ahead and kick it off with number 13?
Yeah, number 13 is the 1931.
Well, do you need to set it up first? Is there anything set up? It's just your favorite, right?
Yeah, these are my favorite. These are the ones that I think if somebody said, give me 13 Universal Monster movies to watch in descending order, what would they be?
All right.
And number 13 is a film that I think is beautiful, albeit a little bit boring. And it is the 1931 vampire classic. Wait for it. Wait for it. Spanish Dracula. I think the
Wow.
real Dracula is far inferior to this version of it. This is just a little more
Far inferior or superior?
Inferior.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think that this is a better looking film. I think it has all the same problems as the original, as far as like a lot of people looking out windows and stuff like that. It definitely, both show the origins of where the Browning film came from, which is the Dracula stage play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a lot of stuff. A lot of people like, look out the window. There's a wolf. It's very big. Oh, I got that. Oh shucks, I got her. Okay, but
Run.
this one's just, I think, just a little more raw, which somehow makes it a little more beautiful.
Yeah,
All right.
I think the acting is a lot better in that one as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, kicking it off with a bombshell there, if you will. And in the chat room,
The bombshell's next to me.
Smooth.
in the chat room, Slagoth says Spanish Dracula is no fucking joke.
It's true, Slagoth.
And
Slagoth's no joke.
and Cecil says Bela Lugosi's dead.
What? What?
When was
Another
somebody gonna tell us?
Dropping like flies.
Jesus.
There's a hair salon next to where my sister lives called Bauhaus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, you probably
Oh, it's
drive by it
amazing.
all the time.
Yeah,
and
no,
I have no idea why it's called that.
It fucks me up a little bit.
Oh, you fucks with it?
I fucks with it.
Oh,
I fucks with
Michael
Bauhaus all the
Ravenshadow
time, yes.
mysteriously listens to really good music now. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
What happened?
What?
He met a girl.
Oh. Alright.
She educated him.
Hey, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Most of my good music comes from dudes, so.
It's very nice. Yeah, she also has no tolerance for the Kid Rock.
Bravo! She's got great taste.
Yeah, she's
Great taste in music, not men. Not men.
That's fair.
well. Maybe she has a Italian stereotype fetish.
She does.
And
Well, she loves mobster movies.
Allegedly, she likes films
Yeah.
that
Raven
take place
Shadow.
in real
So
life.
Dynamo.
Her last boyfriend was a Don, right?
I don't even know. Funny. No, I'm not going to get into
So,
this.
so Dynamo is doing his top 13 Universal monster movies. Are you going to do your top 13 Universal mobster
I
movies?
fucking am. I am now.
All right, what's number 13?
Oh, we doing it like now though? Or are we doing it like now?
I thought you're ready.
Oh yeah. Give me a pen. I got to count.
Give me a
You got
pen.
toes.
Oh, yeah,
Somebody
no.
pulled the abacus out of the closet.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say number one might be.
Oh, you're gonna go start 13.
Which is the bet? Which is the lesser one?
13.
Your least favorite.
Don't do numbers in
That's
front
the
of fucking
highest
Miss
number.
M. All right. Listen. Don't fucking. All right. Listen. So the number 13 might surprise some of you out there.
Spanish Scarface.
Well, it's funny you say that, Dynamo, because my number 13 for all you fucking Jamokes and Mama Lukes out there is going to be Scarface. All right, the Brian De Palma classic about an Italian playing a Spanish guy. And listen, it's a fun film, right? It's a fun film. I watched it. I was probably 7.
7.
It was a time. I'm like, why?
This explains a lot.
Yeah, and I'm like, Mom, why is that guy in the shower? And he's like, well,
Why's that guy got flour all over his face?
Hey, I watched
Yeah.
that movie for Christmas.
that's true because your family's insane.
I think that's a I think it's a Christmas movie.
It was snow, but it's not that kind. No fucking. There was
I
a ski
know.
lift at one
Yeah.
scene. But what I'm trying to say is that as fun a movie as it is, Robert Loggia and it, the CD Miami of that time. Listen, hip hop community. I want to tell you right now. I'm talking to you, hip hop community. Tony Montoya is not a fucking role model. Okay, don't mimic him. Stop it. Stop doing it. All right. He had it all, threw it all away. Wanted to fuck his sister and kill his best friend.
Just like Bogey and
Okay.
McCall.
Okay, he's not a hero. Number 13, Scarface.
It's amazing how we just transitioned over to this. I thought we were doing Universal Monsters.
Well, he always says, when he says monsters, it sounds like mobsters.
Mobsters.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I said it wrong. 1931 Spanish Draculas.
Spanish Draculas.
Yeah, on Drax.
Hi, Corny.
Slagoth says they shot on the same sets at night when they were filming the original Dracula, so it was shot simultaneously.
That's right. That's right.
And Ms. M was just replying to Corny, who says, "Hi, Ms. M," and says, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Hey, Corny.
As a matter of fact, I'm
I
sorry.
like this little sneaky window. I can look right here and see what people are
Yes,
saying.
yes.
As a matter of fact, just recently, I think it was sometime late last year, Lupita Tovar, who was in Spanish Dracula.
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 She just
Even
recently
more Dracula.
she just recently died. She was
Dracula.
She was 106.
Holy shit.
Wow,
Yeah.
so young.
Yeah.
So young.
So
Jesus Christ.
So much time left. to
You
eat
get so
pudding.
offended by people who are old when they die.
I know.
Is it
Because
you're
he's not going to be
get
there. Yeah, he's not going to get there.
You got about 10 years left.
10 years?
Wow.
That's it?
Maybe 20.
Jesus.
I'm doing better now, though. I'm feeling worse when I'm doing good things.
Yeah, you are doing real good things.
No, I feel
I'm
like
very
shit,
proud
though.
of you.
Yeah, because
What
I
are you
mean
doing?
that sincerely.
Not that. I'm still smoking butts,
Yeah.
but other things.
You're gonna run out of bad things though to change, and that'll be the last one.
I know that's number one in the top 13.
Yeah.
All right, so Mars is going to continue to run down his, and maybe Raven Shadow will keep doing his top 13 mobster movies.
I can't even think of 13 mobster movies, so
I don't think he can either.
I couldn't, but I could tell you right now.
You need a pen, Raven
I
Shadow?
think Scarface belongs much higher on that list.
No, it's a great fucking movie,
I
but
don't know if that
it's-
works, but
No.
give it a shot. Here, one
Do you want a paper plate?
Yes.
Oh, it says jet lag on it. That's your number 5 pick.
Why don't you just use your phone? It has
Raven
a
Shadow.
you think you can figure that out?
What am I going to draw on my phone for?
yeah. Raven Shadow, you should come over to my house. I have about 9 million Policia films, like on Amazon Prime.
Policia Academy?
You know?
1 through 5.
I was Spanish Mahoney.
Spanish Mahoney.
One of these films that I have that I'm waiting to watch, I'll probably watch it tomorrow. It's called Cop Killer, I think, and
nice.
it stars Johnny Lydon as the titular cop killer. And I think Franco Nero, maybe, but
nice.
could be wrong. He's in like every other one. Franco Nero, and then there's the guy who they got because Franco Nero was in the first episode of all these like Italian crime movies, and then they couldn't get him again, so they just got some guy that looked like Franco Nero. So I'm like rattling off shit because I watched Mike Malloy's documentary the other day. Like I know things.
Did all that research on your own?
Yeah.
Commandant Lasardo.
Yeah.
So
Spanish Mahoney, you are mucho, 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 mucho bueno.
in the chat room, Sheetsy asked if Slagoth was going to be at Rock and Shock, and Slagoth says, "Yes, I will be there." And
all the way from Florida, and
Yeah.
all the way from PA.
And Sheetsy says he wants to do some shots.
Oh boy.
Sheet shots.
Sheetsy shots.
Yeah,
Sheetsy
Shotzi.
Shots. Shotsy?
And Slagoth says, "I don't do shots anymore. I will sip on whatever. If you bring me a shot, I will sip on it."
Sheetsy,
Like really whatever? Because that's a challenge.
yeah.
Ooh, get
Sheetsy-
fucked up.
Sheetsy and I are gonna be like, I gotta stay away from him till the next day because we're gonna be like, they're gonna be like, it's time to sing Dynamo, and like, I'm gonna be wearing, Sheetsy's gonna be wearing me like a drunk cape.
Cromcast Josh is doing a bit of his own marketing. He says the Dracular Spectacular
Nice.
might be in a contender for the episode title.
I like Josh.
Nicely done.
I like Josh. He's a real crumb median.
Oh.
If you don't like my jokes, the hell with you.
What is good in life, Mars?
The
Bad.
salutation of the Draculas.
And to hear the lamentations of the peasants.
Yep.
All right. Well, Slagoth is going to run out of blah blah blah. I can't read that. As I get older, Mark, I realize that doing shots will fuck you up faster than anything. Just sip and let the burn go. And Slagoth says, "Ms. M, you made me cry with your beautiful voice."
Was I screaming obscenities at you and calling you a piece of shit?
Oh, wow.
No, that was me.
That's every episode of Trick or Treat Radio at Raven Shadow. And Corny wants to know, Mars, are you using baby oil on that skull? It's all shiny and chrome, brother.
I am.
It's looking good.
Very good.
Yeah. I think it's maybe the sunglasses make it look shinier.
Could be.
Looking good, Kojak.
I'd mess with you, but you have so much muscle.
I do. Don't mess
Let's
with
see. Let's see.
Do you know what
Flex.
20 pounds of
not gonna
muscle
do
looks
that.
like?
His head.
Yeah, it's true. Well,
His balls.
his head is like 20 pounds of Jello mole. You do have enormous testicles, though.
Thank you.
You're not going to show off.
You think I don't know that?
Wow.
I think everybody knows it.
You're going to show off those muscles, MZ, or what?
No.
You're bragging about them last
Come on,
week.
just take your shirt off.
No.
Take your
Miss
shirt off.
Epps, yes.
No.
Do not take your shirt off. For
Never.
Miss
It'd
M.
go a lot
no.
easier if you just took your shirt off.
Never.
The most
take your shirt
muscular
off.
one here is Ms. M. And
That's true.
And if she was to flex right now, she'd put us all to shame.
No one is.
But I'm not
denying that.
taking my shirt off.
No,
for sure.
I wouldn't ask you to do that.
Slagoth says, no, Ms. M, that would be my wife.
Wow.
Yelling at him. And he says, your version of I wish it would rain brought me to tears.
That's very sweet of you to say. That is my least favorite cover. I hated doing that so much. It was awful.
How many
Well, peel back the curtain a little bit.
How many covers? I'm trying to think now. Like, I feel like we upped all of our covers because we did 2 at once, but I think we're up to
Right.
4.
Yeah. Well, we were playing around with the Victor Infante's challenge, and
Right.
it's a ton of fun. I mean, to be really honest, every time we've done one of those challenges, it's been a really great time. I mean, working together in a different way and working on songs that make us. I mean, that is not one of my favorite songs.
Tiny has to
begin
hang out with us.
Yeah, Tiny is forced
Yeah.
to hang out with us and actually.
He's
Well,
forced to
on
leave
the
his
second
house.
one,
Oh, actually,
he
he's
didn't
not.
actually
Yeah.
spend any time with me. He left while I recorded my vocals by myself. So that's not even true. That's my true statement. Needless to say, it's always been a good time. And thank you for the compliment. It's very kind.
So I think we went over. Yeah, I think we finished what we're doing tonight. And then we got some voicemail. Some folks that sent in some voicemail about some of their favorite Universal monster movies, I believe. So we'll be discussing that later. One thing I did want to mention, since there was some chatter about Rock and Shock, might be a good opportunity to bring it up. For you guys, anyone within driving distance, no excuse. Or if you need to take a flight, make some plans now. Come hang out with us October 13th, 14th, and 15th.
And outside the cinema.
At Rock and Shock. Well, I think it's just going to be, I don't know if Chris is going to be there.
He better be.
It's Survival of the Film Freaks. They're going to be there. There's going to be a ton of awesome folks. As we just heard, Slagoth and our boy Mark Sheets are going to be here. There's going to be a lot of other people coming in from all over the place. We're going to have Joshua Libre is going to be here. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be Reverend Scott. I know I'm going to forget people, but there's some awesome
Man, I
folks
love
coming
Reverend
in.
Scott.
And October 13th, Friday, October 13th, the Deadites will be playing a live show at the Cove Music Hall. So you come down, come hang out with us, come to the show. You get to see Ms. M. You get to see Mars on stage, his first show since the surgery.
Right. I had I had a couple of excellent practices this week. No one should be concerned.
I'm not even a little.
I have all the range I had in the first place.
Oh, then we're fucked.
So come hang out with us at Rock and Shock. It's going to be an all-weekend extravaganza, and there'll probably be some other stuff we'll be talking about as we get closer, but we're looking to do a live Trick-or-Treat radio broadcast, and there's going to be some just general hanging out, and some boozing, some hanging and banging, right, Raven Shadow?
And some slanging. Some of that.
We'll get to see
slang and-
Raven Shadow eat potato skins for 45 minutes.
Pizza skins.
Pizza skins.
Pizza
With
skins.
no sour cream.
No, I don't
Yeah.
need that. Trying to watch the
With
weight.
a
knife
knife
and
and
fork.
fork.
Yeah, it's classy. It's a meal.
And he's going to get the cheapest beer possible.
Oh,
I'm
it's
gonna
terrible.
order defensively
Yeah.
to make the bill process easier, right? Like, listen, Ms.
Right.
I'm glad you're here. All right, I'm
Raven Chow, you do realize this is 2017, and people know how to break up a bill.
in 2016 they fucking did. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell
Fair
you.
enough, fair enough.
So listen, you're smart, right?
Brilliant.
You're brilliant, right?
Brilliant, yeah.
So if you were in a table, let's say we're all getting Sam Adams, right? And maybe some of us drink more than others, maybe some drink less. But I'm not sure who's drinking what. But maybe we get confused because the numbers maybe not even. We don't know who put in. Whatever the fuck. I put in a 5, put in a 10. No one's there to tell me how much to put in, so I'm scared, right? And so if I knew we all like Sam Adams, and maybe I don't really think about complex numbers, maybe I'll get something that no one else will get, so I know that's mine.
That's yours.
right? So I can do my $6 for the
Raven
pizza
Shadow.
skins.
Raven Shadow.
Yeah.
If
Right.
4 people get like Sam Adams or like something,
That's a good
something
beer.
that's not Bud Light or whatever you get,
Doesn't matter what I got.
But dry.
it's
But dry.
let's
Zima, one time.
Let's say it's $24 for 4 of them.
Okay.
Do you know how to divide 24 from 4?
Let me get my phone.
Oh boy.
Is divide the right one?
Are you kidding?
yeah, that's the one with the line and the little dots.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird Green Lantern
it's
symbol.
dot, line, dot.
It's
Yeah, I'm already
divide.
confused.
Raven Shadow, say the bill comes out to be 200, comma 0, 0, 0, 0.
That's why I sit next to Johnny. I'm like, Johnny, how much do I put in?
So I look at the bill and I tell you.
Johnny tells me how much to put in. I don't know to do math.
Yeah, well, I
He
mean,
could have been fleecing me all these years. I could have been buying him dinner.
Or you know what you could do?
What's
You
that?
could go into your phone,
Yeah.
click on the calculator app.
I got one of those. Does that pay extra for that?
Pay extra.
Listen, all I'm saying is that sometimes you might have to leave. What if I had to leave quickly? I could put my money down. And we had different tables. We had quadrants. We were all over the place. So things got confusing. So I ordered defensively.
Ms. M, look at the chat room. Look at the second message from the bottom.
Hi, sexy librarian. You know you're my favorite.
She's
Sexy
fine, too.
librarians just said Donna Matrix and like a smiley face with the googly heart eyes.
It's funny. I was thinking of you guys today.
What were you doing,
You
Mars?
probably should not finish the rest of that thought.
Sorry.
Slegoth wants to know, Mars, please tell me you're going to perform Murders in the Rue Lounge. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes, I suspect we are. There's one small technicality to it, but I'm sure we can. It's Sheetsy's favorite, so we'll definitely make it happen.
And Slegoth says he's going to be on edible marijuana for the duration. All right.
Yes.
It's
Nice
unanimous.
time.
Yeah.
It's legal here now. So
Yeah, but you still got to transport it here from the Florida.
From the floor.
From the Florida.
Yeah.
From the Florida.
Yeah, but they don't even know. They're gonna. Well, dogs might.
Corny has a good point, and he says you have to talk to Raven Shadow in comics. That's the only math he understands.
All right, so if-
Raven Shadow, you got 4 pouches, and you got 2 ponytails,
No, that's Liefeld math. you know.
Well, no, like when they come.
and no feet.
Yeah. Lots of shoulder pads.
all right, the Batmobile has a full tank of gas.
Yes. It's 200 miles to get from Gotham to Metropolis.
By the way, the
How-
The Joker leaves Metropolis in the Batmobile going 300 miles per hour.
and by the way, the Batmobile runs on a small magnetic. Who's next, John?
Thank you, Dynamo. I wasn't gonna say it, but you did.
Sorry, my virginity just grew back. It hurt.
So come hang out with us for Rock and Chalk. It's going to be a fucking amazing time. It'll be fun. If you guys have any questions about it, if you need to book a hotel, you need to book a flight, you need to, I don't know, book a rental car, you're looking for a place to crash.
There's a new hotel in the area, by the way, so that should decongest things.
Oh, okay.
It's like, you know, the Rotary down there, like down there,
Down there.
coming off
Oh,
That's
Raven
Oh,
Shadow.
the
where-
Hotel Vernon,
Union-
Mike. That's been
No,
around
no,
for
not
years.
that one.
Union Square there?
I think no.
Station.
Union Station?
Yeah. It's right like as you're. It's like at 2:00 on the Rotary.
From which direction?
What's noon?
Yeah.
What the
If,
gallery?
if you're in the Batmobile, Mars.
It's on the corner at 6:15.
This is because more landmarks that don't exist anymore.
Oh, sorry. The
Paris
artist.
Cinema.
Is Shrewsbury Street 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
6:00.
Okay.
Okay.
It's actually kind of 6:15.
6:15. That doesn't make any sense.
5:45 rather, I think.
Speaking of math, Mars, why don't you give number 12?
I really got nervous when you said my name. My heart dropped. I'm like, he had invited Miss M, and now he's going to politically assassinate me. Hold on, I got to switch between my notes, and this is hard.
Yes, your phones are a lot
Wait,
easier.
you already did 13. You mean 12?
I said 12.
Oh. Well, number 12 is a sequel.
Oh.
And I believe that this film was shown theatrically in 3D. But I know when I was growing up, you used to be able to get 3D glasses to watch it at Store 24. And if your parents were irresponsible and let you stay up to midnight watching monster movies, you'd be able to watch it. And that is The Creature Returns, featuring still impressive, but slightly less impressive because they changed the makeup. They changed the suit a little bit to make the economy of getting the actor in and out of it a little easier. But it's still it's a little more cheesy. It started to get kind of affected by the more like science fiction based environmental morality plays that were playing out at the time. But yeah, it's pretty great still. Want me to do 11 too? Bang on 11.
Sure, bang out 11.
Number 11. Everyone seems to forget. They think about the main Universal monsters. Now, I only did ones with monsters, but Universal did a lot of horror movies. But they did 2 stellar ones in the silent era. And one of those features the legendary Lon Chaney Sr., and that is the not very scary, but very, very beautiful, and the performance alone makes it amazing, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Ah, yeah. Good one.
So one of the underappreciated, not in film, but in like
amongst
the
those.
lexicon of those monsters, which people think of, the main ones. What's funny is that 2 of the main ones happened years after, like they happened while Dracula and Frankenstein were in revival. And then the Wolfman and then the Creature much later on ended up getting produced, and then a bevy of sequels, some of which will pop up later on this list. See, I know things about stuff. We should talk about Buckaroo Banzai and all sorts of fucking crazy shit about that now.
Yeah, you did watch a documentary.
It's true.
All right, so we talked about Rock and Shock. What else we got up here?
I guess talk about that we left an 8-minute voicemail on the Cult of Muscles phone before we started playing.
You did.
You were there too.
I was there.
You added about 2 minutes of it.
No, I did not.
did.
Like 20 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, just wouldn't fucking shut up.
Yeah. All right, I'll go ahead and introduce everyone. How about that? Make Raven Shadow happy.
Thank you.
I am Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher, producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio, the Deadites, the Grand Guignol Network, and one of the co-hosts of the Outside Corner Fantasy Baseball podcast with Dr. Joey Tron. Kind of wrapping the season up, Raven Shadow. You excited?
I can't wait.
We've got about another month left.
Oh man, you're gonna go what are you gonna do then? You gonna do like a
Take a
football
break?
one?
Take a break.
Let's do a football one.
Tell you what, I
No,
can't
fuck
wait
football.
for the season to be over.
Fuck football. Yeah, you're actually on. We mentioned on the last show that you're on the verge of having the worst record ever in the history, 16 years of this league.
Shocking.
If you'd only fucking set your roster, maybe you'd be okay.
You should let me coach your team next year. Who knows
Yeah.
nothing?
I
about
think
baseball.
you'd be better off. The franchise might be better for it.
You know what you should do? You should make my special lady friend be your assistant coach, and I bet you do really, really well.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
You should consider it.
I think I should.
Cecil says Creature Returns is great.
Yeah, sure it is, Cecil. Cecil is very awesome.
Yeah. And I'm excited. We did get a voicemail from Cecil, so I'm
Nice.
looking forward to that. And he also says, I'm excited for the upcoming remake of The Hunchback and Phantom. They're silent movies anyway.
He's a big. He is a big reason why I wanted to review this film.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. He is for sure. All right, we also have the immortal gunslinger, singer and lyricist for the Deadites, and destroyer of cancer, Dynamo Mars.
It's true. I didn't really destroy it. I just laid there.
Yeah,
Ms. M, I don't know if you heard, but he named his penis Cancer, and he beats it regularly.
I don't want to talk about that.
He beats it on the reg.
At least once a day.
Whoa! Once a day.
I said at least.
Porno movies are his chemo.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Monster Zero.
Puts his hand in the microwave.
Monster Zero, why is porno good?
Because it is.
Yeah, thank you.
Why is it?
Ms. M,
Because it is.
porno is great because it's great. That's an MZ quote.
Why is
Ask
it
him
great?
why it's great. It's great.
It's awesome.
It's great. That's it. You
I'm
can't
not
come
gonna
up
get
with anything.
into specifics here. We got a lady here.
Oh, you're gonna get.
Oh, you would get the specifics the last 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. Wait. We got a
This
lady
is the
here.
first time I've been here in
Yeah.
a while. And also, we're
She
talking
could-
about Mars.
Don't start using it. I don't have time for rational thinking. Okay, leave me alone.
She could out dirty mouth you.
He's too busy watching a lot of porno.
Yeah.
I can't use my brains for thoughts.
And as Mars mentioned earlier, we do have the amazing and talented Ms. M here with us. We also have the horribly untalented and horrible looking Monster Zero.
You're a good-looking guy.
I know.
That's the best intro I've ever gotten from you.
The vulgar.
Speaking of Hunchback of Notre Dame,
The Hunchback of Castle Wolfenstein. We have the vulgar guru of horror, the star of Blood Pigs and Fetus, one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, Monster Zero.
Yes, no.
And by the way, Miss M, I find that offensive. This dude's never been to college.
Oh man! All right, well that's it. On
Hey, it's not how it is. You fucking well know there's somebody else at the end of this table.
oh shit! I almost forgot about you, Raven
Hey.
Shadow.
I'm in the fucking room.
We have the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, lorazepam loving, former comic book reading nerd, the official smoke chamber for Castle Wolfenstein, the pimp of promotions, and the Italian rapscallion, Michael Raven Shadow.
Thank you, Johnny Wolfenstein.
You're welcome.
You're very good at what you do. You're a big talent.
The Spanish rapscallion.
Sí. Quedaste dos chicas en la cocina.
Hey, cuéntanos más acerca de
Oh,
más
no.
sobre contabilidad. Yo no llevo la casa de la
I really
It's
said something.
uncanny how he could do that.
It's just, he does it. He does this all the time. What are you, the Uncola guy?
Crisp and clean with no caffeine.
The Uncola guy, his I live next door
Yeah.
to his cousin.
Jeffrey, that's Jeffrey Holder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cecil says, "Thank you, Dynamo.
You're welcome,
You
Cecil.
made a nice compliment." And Cromcast Josh says, "Have a great show and a great night, everyone. It's movie time."
Oh, what are you gonna watch, Chromecast Josh? You'll never see this because
And he says, "Mars, the check is in the mail from Crom Cruise."
thank you. It's the least I can do after I ruined a whole episode of your show,
Yeah.
rambling about boxing. They had me on a show about boxing. I was like blah 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 blah.
I can think of at least 2 other people in this room who would have been better at that.
Yeah, and then well, I didn't actually have to box. I just had to talk about it. I know things about it.
And we also have First Time Mike is now hanging out, and he
Alright.
says,
Oh, that's
"Evening,
you.
family, and hello, Ms. M.
Hello, first time.
Ooh.
First time, first time, long time."
Ooh.
All right. We introduce everyone. I guess we'll start shilling some stuff. You guys want to help support the show, go to trickortreatradio.com. On the front page, you're going to find a few links on the right-hand side. You can click on them and help us out. First up, we got Horror Pack. Our friends over at Horror Pack will send you 4 DVDs
Horror
or
Pack!
Blu-rays directly to your door. I saw that they're doing something new. I guess you get to pick the films. They do like a special thing where you can
Like Columbia House.
yeah, where you can like Columbia House, yeah, where you can pick films, so it's not a complete surprise. But go check out Horror Pack; they got some cool stuff going on. They're trying some new shit. We also have our affiliate link with Amazon. We know you guys all shop at Amazon. Go ahead and use our link to do so because we get a little cut. It doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it helps keep the lights on.
That's right. So click on the Amazon logo on the front page of trickortreatradio.com. Everything you purchase in that session gives us a tiny little cut. And then we have our friends over at Make Some Noise!
XSplit.
XSplit.
Horror Pack.
Horror Pack. We have our friends over at XSplit, and they provide the live streaming video you see every Wednesday night when we do the live show. If you guys have not checked out the live show, I recommend doing it because you see little nuggets like last week. Michael Ravenshadow on stage with Moore's Day and the Time.
That's right. That's right. Timestamp that.
I'm still laughing at that.
You would not have... you could have heard it
Right.
if you listen to the podcast, but you can't see it unless you watch the live show.
To see, I was so fucking magestic on stage, wasn't I?
You were
I
so
was-
majestic.
I was doing the bird mizam. It was nice. I was called on.
Do the bird right now.
I'm like, yeah, watch the video. I'm doing. I was on the side, so on the
Yeah.
side, one wing was flowing,
Put the cock in Caucasian.
but it was nice. There was a lot of white people on stage.
Yes.
You were the whitest.
Yeah, you were the.
Actually, no, he wasn't.
I'm right.
Yeah, you were.
Wow, no, I think he was.
No,
No,
the guy.
there was some pretty.
He
white
was
people.
so white the Headless Horseman showed up to collect Ichabod Crane.
Don't believe their lies. He fibs.
But then Morris Day came back to this boat.
Yeah, it was nice to be the
amazing.
party.
Yeah, it was a
Oh
party.
yeah, how was the party? How
Oh,
was
man,
the
good.
party?
There were so many mirrors.
Yeah.
It was nice. Jerome was there.
Mm-hmm.
Corny
Nice.
asks, could Ms. M replace Raven Shadow on the show?
Yes.
Corny, I think something's burning in the other room. Why don't you go?
He said, just asking, but serious.
No, you're being fucking rude there, Corny. Really fucking rude.
This is a late night for me. I can only do this once in a while.
Yeah, I have nowhere to go, okay?
First time Mike says, I must give you props on that, Raven Shadow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love you the most first time, Mike.
And finally, we haven't mentioned this in a while, but if you guys want to and you haven't picked up Dough for Dynamo, you can do so. We got a link for it on trickortreatradio.com. And go ahead and pay whatever you want. You can pay, was it $7 or $9?
7.
$7.
$200.
It's at least $7.
$200.
You can pay more if you'd like, and you get 19 amazing tracks, including Ms. M doing the Deadites' The Attic, a brand new track from the Deadites. The only place you can get it is from that compilation, and it also features some other amazing bands. So you got to check it out. Go get Dough for Dynamo if you don't already have it. You will not regret it.
Every song is awesome.
Yeah.
But the best song is The Attic.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Checks in the mail.
And I think that's going to do it for that stuff. Raven Shadow,
Yes.
when you sit down to watch The Mummy,
Yes.
what do you do to prepare for Tom Cruise and The Mummy?
Oh, my Lord. You know, it's some fucking risky business right there. I don't even know what I'm going to do. It's Sunday, I mow the lawn.
You always mow the lawn.
It's always fucking
You're
growing.
good. You're good about
You
it.
know what I mean? Then I'm getting ready to do some weed whacking, right? Getting some whacking going.
Can you bring your weed whacker to my house?
Well, here's the fucking thing, right? So it's been a while since I whacked it. And what do you call it? The little thing that you put in the weed whacker that does the whacking?
Yeah, it's like
The plastic thing,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So it's stuck. It was wrapped around it. So I had to fucking use my Leatherman trying to get it out, pulling it out, and I can't do it. So I'm like, oh, I got some fucking WD-40, right? That'll fucking work. So I lube it all up, get it real nice, and then I pull it out. And it was great. So I'm gonna fucking weed whack this thing. And I go, I'm doing it, right? I gotta prime it, press it, prime it, pull it. And all of a sudden, where the fuck did it go?
Did you throw it in the woods?
No, the thing shot out. So after 6 fucking attempts about putting fucking plastic weed whacker shit in, I realized that the lubricant from the WD-40 fucked it up and I can't whack anything.
That's
Wait,
literally the
lubricant-
first time I've ever heard someone say
Yeah.
that lube made it so I couldn't whack anything.
Yeah, it usually helps.
Yeah, well, not in the yard.
I never had a problem.
I know, maybe you. Have you come over and fix my fucking shrubs.
He's usually raw dogging it, though.
Yeah. Fucking chafing.
Gross.
So then I take a shower, go back in the house, and I strap on.
You did not. Oh, man, I thought you had more going.
Well,
You say it again? You what?
I wait. Pick up from
Just the last
all
part.
the lubricant. I couldn't whack it. And then I got frustrated, and I figured I went in the house, took
Yeah.
a shower,
Yeah.
combed my hair a little bit,
Yeah.
had some tea,
Okay, I'm ready.
watched the Mummy.
I'm ready.
But before that,
Yeah.
strapped on.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites.
Hey there, this is R.A. Salvatore, call me Bob, and you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
I'm Ruby Burble.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
Like comics.
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
Hey, you matzo heads. This is Larry Fine, and you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
And we have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. Figured it was appropriate, Mars, to play Ophidion's Charm. What?
Oh, I get you right.
All right. We'll get ready to talk about The Mummy. And Ms. M just posted now. It is an Amazon link for helping out folks affected by Hurricane Harvey. So it's posted on the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group for the kind of the post for the live show tonight. So if you guys want to check that out, you can do so.
You can help out people you don't know while helping out people that you know.
I wish they didn't name hurricanes.
What would you prefer?
I don't know. Like, it's a fucking hurricane. It ruined people's life. Like, it's not a fucking kitten. Like, it's like think about like going back and being like, wow, my fucking life was ruined by Harvey. That's the fucking invisible elephant. I mean, rabbit that dude hung out with. Like, that's not a fucking storm.
Actually, you're right. That was Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
What
should call
about-
it like Malbosia or like
Malbosia, what?
What?
They should name them after diseases or something, Raven
Yeah.
Show, right?
You come out of nowhere and you say Membosia.
Yeah, like, what the hell? Well, Tom, I'm very concerned about Hurricane Syphilis coming.
Hurricane the Red Death.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, somebody told me the other day there was a strain of the Black Death found somewhere down south
Yeah.
recently. That
Yeah.
fucking sucks.
Yeah, the plague resurfaced recently in the South. I don't remember if it was Texas or not, but
Great.
It figures it's south.
Texas
Right.
is starting to become fucking
it's-
domestic Australia. There's no reason to go there.
Australia.
the bugs are big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the alligators are in your living room.
Corny asked, as we're going to break, does Raven Shadow wear a do-rag when he does yard work?
I do wear a bandana. I do.
Is it the Bloods or the Crips?
It's a non-denomination.
And Cecil says, awesome music. Thanks, Cecil. That was the Deadites' own Ophidion's Charm. It's music that we did for a wrestler named Ophidian.
He's got a snake mane.
He is a snake man.
I guess it depends who you ask. Somebody might say it's Chikara's Ophidion's Charm, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, we wrote it, so.
It's true.
Cecil says, Harvey Dent be a bit of a storm. Can be sometimes.
Ah.
And Corny thinks every other hurricane should be named Evil Corny.
Hurricane Evil
What
Corny.
are the other ones named?
Nice corny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about The Mummy from 2017. This joint was directed by Alex Kurtzman, who is a big-time writer and producer, and this is, I think, his first...
I think he directed one of those shitty Transformers movies.
I don't think he did. He wrote one.
Well, that's not. I don't think anybody actually wrote those Transformers movies.
He directed... The only other thing he directed was People Like Us and a couple... And he did an episode of Alias and a show called New Day, which I'm not familiar with.
I really dug that show, Alias.
Alias, yeah?
Yeah, that was a good time.
Too sweet to be sour.
So it was directed by Alex Kurtzman, and there's a bunch of people who got credits for writers. So let me take a stab at this: David Koepp, Christopher McQuarrie, Dylan Kussman, John Spates, Alex Kurtzman, and Jenny Lumet. So it looks like there's a few people that were involved in the writing of that movie, which maybe we'll get to the point where that will make sense. And it stars actually Raven Shadow.
Yes.
You got to do this.
All right. Do you have the? Gotta look at your IMDb.
No, you can use your own goddamn
Yeah, but yours already fucking up. Don't fucking embarrass me in front of Ms. M. Because you fucking know how.
And Raven Shadow is going to read the cast because it went so well a couple weeks ago.
Yes, yes. Starring in this picture, lead off batter is Crom Cruise. It's a callback. Russell Crowe, Annabelle Wallis. Oh, my favorite Italian. What's a female horse?
A horse, sir.
A horse,
No,
of
like
course.
she wouldn't be a stallion. She'd be like a
Mare.
What's it? Oh, the Italian. Well, that doesn't work. Sophia Butella, Jake Johansson.
It's Jake Johnson.
No, I thought it was Sweden. Courtney B. Vance, who's a male.
Yeah.
It's not a she. Marwin Kurzarl.
You're the worst.
Simon Atherton.
Why did everybody turn? Why did you turn into the Swedish Chef mid IMDb?
Oh, it's Stephen Thomas.
Thompson. You are the worst.
Well, why'd you give it to me?
Because I wanted you to say Sophia Butella.
All right. Matthew Wickes.
All right, you're
Sam
done. You're done.
Capella,
You're cut off. You're
Sean
cut-
Cameron, Michael,
you're cut
Res
off.
Captain,
You're cut-
Arrow.
You're cut off. You're cut off. Stop it.
Give me this goddamn thing.
Take your phone.
And the Mummy.
Jesus. And the Mummy.
Starring as the Mummy.
Edamame, starring as the Mummy.
Yeah, it's Ada Mummy.
Oh, man. All right, the synopsis. An ancient princess is awakened from her crypt beneath the desert, bringing with her malevolence grown over millennia and terrors that defy human comprehension.
I think Raven Shadow's listing of the cast defies human comprehension.
Wasn't that terrifying?
Corny says this reading is fuckery. I think he was talking to you, Raven Shadow.
Listen, Corny likes me.
All right, so the Mummy, Marsman, why did you want to do this?
I was really excited about this because being a big Universal Monsters fan, I was very excited about the prospect of the dark universe. And I am, as anyone knows me, knows I'm a big fan of pulp era men's adventure style literature and films, and I'm very forgiving, of anything in that genre. And that said, one thing I will sneak in real quick, I was very surprised in a film that was a big budget film that came out, how true to the more, maybe some might say damning or antiquated elements of the men's adventure genre this was.
Yeah.
Like Tom Cruise is kind of a warts and all type hero, which I was surprised. You just don't generally get that in the, even if you look at the other Mummy films, which I enjoy to varying degrees, Brendan Fraser is supposed to be kind of a ne'er-do-well, but he's very Cinemaplex
Vanilla.
flawed character. Tom Cruise is actually kind of a dick in this, which probably wasn't a stretch, but
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. But I love that stuff. I love Doc Savage. I love all the Robert E. Howard like adventures in this genre. I just love those two-fisted heroes. And obviously the best iteration of this will always be by Spielberg. But I'm always excited when somebody else takes a swing at it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So it is interesting, though, that Alex Kurtzman directed it, who really doesn't have much under his belt as far as directing goes. You would just assume as sort of the, if you want a good analogy, the Iron Man, sort of the Dark Universe. Like, this is the kickoff of a new cinematic universe. So you think you'd have an established director, perhaps, but... I have no problems really with the direction of it, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting choice. You think that they want to get someone who's, very established in there.
And he's in the middle, too, because he is an industry guy, so it's not like the guy that made Spider-Man or the guy that made Jurassic World, where he has one little indie.
Yeah, and it could be one of those deals where maybe they had someone and they backed out, and he's like, well, I'll do it, So, who knows? I don't know the full story behind that. But, so, The Mummy. All right, so we got Tom Cruise, of course, and at the beginning here, it kicks off. They kind of do a nice little info dump montage, which I thought was pretty cool. They did it like in a pretty short amount of time, give you the gist of what's going on, the backstory of the mummy character. I can't remember her name.
Aminette.
Yeah. Thank you, MZ. Look at you.
Oh. He has IMDb up.
Yeah, he's the least.
Yeah.
He's
an IMD bag.
Yeah,
is what he is.
I'm the least talented of the Zappa children.
So yes, Aminette, and basically give kind of a rundown of how she came to be, and there's some stuff about the.
She's a bad girl.
She's a bad girl.
She's a bad girl. She really escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Revealing that she was promising spot on the throne, and then things happened where maybe she wasn't going to be an heir, and she got pissed off and called, Satan.
Set.
Oh, Set. I think he's also called Satan, though. Right?
She definitely went.
She is called Satan.
Oh, fair.
She definitely went from honing her bow staff fighting skills to like family murder. Like
right. She went from
infanticide.
Yeah.
Bow staff to Lizzie Borden real fucking quick.
Infanticide is my favorite Flash artist.
Yes. That's Carmine.
Wow.
I know what you meant.
So yeah, she does her thing, and then she calls forth Set, and she's about to finish this ritual where she's going to become all powerful, and she's stopped, and she's mummified and buried away.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
This has bothered me from the second I saw this, and I just kept shouting, "That's not mummification! She's just buried alive!"
right.
She's just buried alive. She's not
Yeah.
mummified. They just pull her brains out of her freaking nose.
It is true. You are right. Yeah.
It's true.
So they didn't mummify her. They buried her alive.
I mean, they wrapped her up.
Yeah, but that's not.
But that's not it. I mean,
That's Halloween mummification.
right.
That's Halloween, motherfucker.
Stuff her with sawdust and
Right.
and
Her
other.
organs are intact. They didn't even kill her.
Yeah.
She just got buried alive,
Yeah.
which is there's a word for that too. Not interment, but there's when you bury somebody alive. There's a word for that. It's like a poism. It's like somebody on the interwebs tell me what it is.
Terrifying, though.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I can't come up with a word. It's weird. But that is a terrifying thing. But it's not mummification.
Entombed.
That pissed me off. Entombed.
Right?
I'll take it.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that your favorite band, Raven Channel?
yes. The Wolverine's Blues, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to be on stage with them anytime soon?
Maybe. I'm going to assume that every show I go to, I'm going to be on stage. I'm going to get thrown out.
See, that's what happens when you don't bring your tweezers.
That's what. Yeah, I didn't.
You
bring
get
them.
on stage.
Yeah.
You can do that from now on?
I am. I'm going to see Dennis Leary in October. I'll be like, hey, Dennis, I'm going to.
He allows tweezers.
Yeah, he's all into that. He's fucking.
Morris Day allowed tweezers and he fell over.
Yeah,
I thought, holy shit, what did Raven Shadow do?
Yeah, I got the whole band tweezers. I signed it.
You're going to go see Weezer? You're going to
inscribed
call
them?
him Tweezer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. There you go. Yeah, this is fucking There's fucking Walt Whitman right there.
Thank you.
Bosch is now hanging out. Bosch says, sometimes you forget it's Wednesday. Hi, y'all.
So's Monster Zero when he sleeps through the fucking show.
And Bosch says, totally. They never did the whole mummification process.
Yeah.
She's kind of like Jason, undead demon possession.
Thank you.
Though, to be
But I
fair,
suppose the mummy is much catchier than Undead Demon.
Yeah.
this would have been a
Possession.
better movie if at any point, like, they were like, it wasn't about the fucking jewel or anything else. They're like, we have to stop her from flying into Ricky Schroeder's stepmom's vagina.
That's a different movie.
Right. You don't know that? Jason Goes to Hell, he got blown up, and then become Jason again, he was a fucking worm, like a giant worm, and he went flying into
a hockey
Ricky
mask
Schroeder's
on his
stepmom's vagina, and then she burst out of the floor as a full Jason with a mask and a jumpsuit on.
That's pretty great. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's on the thing that I keep forgetting to give you.
I also need to point out that there's a bottle of fucking Clontarf in the trash. He drank the Clontarf and he left me this shit.
What the hell's Clontarf?
I think literally there was like that much in it, though, when
Yeah.
he got here.
Clontarf?
So he probably
Yeah.
just
And it was sitting
Amazing
around here
Irish
for
whiskey.
a couple of months.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was getting aged.
You guys gotta tell me when the good shit's out.
They don't
Come on the
fucking
show
tell.
more often.
We actually did tell you, and you said you weren't coming.
No, it's probably right. Probably true.
So and then we cut to, we see Dr. Jekyll, who we find out later is Dr. Jekyll, and he's investigating another site where there's like these crusaders who were buried, and they're looking for an object there. So, and then Tom Cruise, Crom Cruise is
Tom Foos.
he is with this other dude. This
Yeah.
you know, kind
Yeah,
of
his sidekick. Basically,
sidekick dude. Yeah.
Comic relief.
Yeah, and they're in, where are they again? They're in Iraq, I
Yes.
believe. What used to be known as Mesopotamia.
Yep.
Which is funny too. Is like, were they even part of the military? They were like on
I
patrol,
don't
but
think so.
they were just essentially they're kind of like grave robbers, right?
Well, they
Yeah.
are.
They are.
Well, yeah, that's where the warts and all part comes
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Tom's character. He's a mercenary at the same time he's employed by the U.S. Army.
Okay.
Which-
All right.
Is something that they definitely ape that from Indy, but
Yeah.
that definitely is like an element of Indy that got like glossed over.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
you know, by the second film, he started doing things for like altruistic reasons. You know, like,
Yeah.
We're just stealing.
So yeah,
Well, they did call him out on it in Temple of Doom. Remember the priest?
The difference though between forgive me if I'm wrong here, but you want to elevate the people who are in the military, right? I mean, I understand. Let's not get into the political argument about
right.
people killing people, but you know, there's this implied elevation of character of someone who chooses to fight for the military or to protect and serve,
not in Hollywood, unfortunately, though.
and then that's why it's, you know,
Yeah.
moving on.
They're still super.
Right.
I can't remember why we were talking about this the other day, but I feel like Hollywood is still very engraved in that like 1973 baby killer. Like, you know, like they do it more subtly now, but when was the last time you saw a film outside of Captain America where the guy in the military was
Noble.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. The corpse and history stealing mercenary is the
Right.
one that
Yeah.
you know we hang our hat on.
Yeah.
And that is kind of, and I guess you're kind of right, Dynamo, that is kind of an ode to sort of maybe the pulp heroes, or you typically don't, I don't know, I mean, I guess I haven't seen too many films where it's like that. Typically it's a, you know, kind of a white bread kind of dude, you know?
Sure.
Like, so I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, you know, it just was kind of a little character thing that, you know, gave him some, just a little bit more depth. I
Say
guess.
what you want about him. I guess politically isn't the right word, but socio-politically, I guess. I've always enjoyed Tom Cruise as an actor, but one thing I'm liking now is how he's kind of leaning into his bad implied reputation a little bit, and like his characters are all sort of anti-heroes now. If you look at like Jack Reacher in this,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like
The one thing, I guess we'll touch on it now, even though we haven't really got too far, but I think we'll dig a little bit deeper into this. But the thing for me was he did kind of have that sort of pulpy hero kind of vibe to him, but it felt really out of place because I don't think anyone else was in that same world, you know?
Well, I think Russell Crowe.
I guess to a degree, but it didn't jump out as much. Like some of the dialogue that and the way that Tom Cruise spoke in this was just so like it seemed way out of place.
Is it me? We're taking it back to the dialogue. Did anyone catch some of the him trying to like channel some like Bruce Campbell bumps? Some of the
kind of like a Stooges type stuff.
No. I mean, he definitely was a glutton for punishment. I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but there are things that happen over the course of the film that let Tom Cruise like take more of a beating than he.
I think that's genre specific, though. I mean, look at Indy.
But I mean, the way he took the bumps and even some of the dialogue seemed like it tried to be funny.
I think it's just
it came off
just
dry.
like I think that's just lighthearted humor. I
and I
don't think
think
it really is supposed to overwhelm what's going on as far as the scene goes.
I also think that it's a matter of like that sort of delivery. I bet you because it's a Universal monster film. I don't think he was channeling Bruce Campbell. I think he was more so channeling the people who Bruce Campbell channeled.
Yeah,
like,
those pulp heroes.
Like Abbott and Costello and Don Knotts and the Stooges and stuff like that.
Drawing from the same well.
Right. Yeah. Like, and again, like also like not so much Doc Savage. He ended up like not scathed a lot, but if you look at like the serial characters and a lot of the other things that Indy drew upon, for instance, those characters take a licking. You know.
Yeah.
It's the. I think it was a reaction to in the serials how there'd always be the reel where the last reel of the next episode was exactly the same, except he got out of the car before it drove off the cliff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the kind of response to that in the more modern society in a multi-act film is to just beat the shit out of him, like don't kill him, but drag him behind a car for a while or drop him off onto a mountain and like. But I think I don't think it's. I think this is a thing of you being, and this isn't an insult. I'm sure a lot of people felt this way. You being more familiar with the contemporary version of it than
it's aping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I totally got that vibe. But some of the dialogue was almost like groan-worthy because it's like he was channeling that, but no one else was, and it seems so out of place. Like,
I have a theory.
Okay.
That I can't verify at all, but
yeah.
I wonder if there was a point in this film when it was supposed to be supposed to be in a more like source material time. Like if it was supposed to be like in a more
like the film was supposed to take place in a different time?
Yeah, like I felt like there was a lot of things in this movie that like didn't come into play a lot, like phones and like a lot of modern things, like and they though there was a bus scene, like where like one of my favorite things in a movie involved a bus. There was a lot of running from place to place.
Yeah,
and a lot of like. Like old back roads and stuff like that. Like that kind of, just made me feel like the film was out of time a little bit. And I wonder if there was at least a version of this universe that was supposed to happen at the time, in the 30s.
Well, I'm sure the 4 or 5 different writers didn't meddle the pot at all.
So, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that as we continue on, but some of the dialogue just seemed really. There's that scene where he goes, "Jenny, run!"
Yeah.
Like just that one scene was like just so like kind of groan-inducing.
Well, they always say that acting is reacting, and I thought a lot of the reaction shots that Tom Cruise and his character had in this film, I thought were very hammy.
Oh yeah, I mean I think that goes to what we were just talking about, though.
Okay. And I'm thinking, I was just going to say the same thing. I think it goes with what you're saying, as well as the style, to a certain degree, the style of of hamminess with a character. Say like, one that always comes to my mind is Una O'Connor from Bride of Frankenstein.
Sure.
Who is a fantastic character actress and laid in some incredible comedy relief for that film. And I felt like a lot of his reactionary shots was meant to play off as some sort of comedy relief, which honestly I felt was kind of like somewhat beneath him. I'm no big fan of Tom Cruise, but I always felt like his acting and the roles that he takes on is kind of like up here, you know. And
Certainly
the
gets paid
Mummy
like it.
and the Mummy is, I mean, in
Kind of
terms of the
beneath.
films that he does, in
Well-
contrast, is
You
somewhere
mean like
below
the playing with the boys scene and
Well, if you think about it, I mean, what has he done? He did Jack Reacher. He's done the Mission Impossible films.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, how
so
many
I
of those
don't
has he done?
know.
Like 4 of those?
But then keep my maybe 5. But then he also did that cameo, a small part in Tropic Thunder,
right?
Mhm.
which he kind of like played against type. Hasn't really done a lot of comedies. Well,
Yeah, I don't know that-
Risky Business, but that's early on.
Yeah.
I don't know that comedy is maybe his forte. I think another thing
No.
in regards to the dialogue, there was some very dramatic dialogue in this that was like out of necessity. And I think that that's maybe just a hard balancing act to make more relatable, more organic dialogue when there's another point in this film where you have like Hyde's exposition dump
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then you have his speech at the end, his very
yeah.
neo-romantic speech at the end. You know what I mean? So it's probably just like not. I mean, I'm not defending the 8 or 10 people that wrote this movie, but
Sure.
it's probably not easy to balance that.
One other thing I want to talk about, and I think this got some play when this film was first announced or when trailers were coming out or whatever, but I haven't really heard much about it since, which is good. But did you guys have any? Did you have any, like, I guess not problem, but what was your feeling about the Mummy being a woman? Was there anything wrong with that? Do you wish they
No.
had sort of
Of
done
course
it?
not. Of course not.
Because there was as there is on the fucking internet, there was kind of an outcry of like, oh, the mummy's not a woman, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but there's been multiple Mummy
Right.
movies and like that. I don't think she's specific. Male or female isn't specific to the icon, right? For lack of a better term, right? You could have a female Dracula.
Sure, yeah. I guess I'm referring to the Universal
Oh.
Mummy.
Oh, okay.
That's because if they're trying to start this new universe, obviously, I mean, the good thing is none of us had a problem with it, and
No.
I didn't hear too many people bitching about it, which is good because there shouldn't be a problem with it. And I actually thought that she was quite good in this. Like, I liked the character of Amanette,
Yeah.
and I thought that she was one of the best parts about this.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
quite frankly, you want to differentiate from the Brandon Fraser
Right.
series
Sure,
as well,
sure,
which is,
yeah.
I think is still pretty fresh. I mean, I can't see a monster's face coming out of a dust bowl
Without thinking about that. Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't think they invented it, but that's what I think of. You know what
I think
mean?
that this is
Like-
the most accurate version of the monster, though. Like, I think that they follow the rules the most, and it's most like that. Brendan Fraser one was closer, but they played a little broader, like a more evil wizard. Like, this is definitely more legitimate necromancy sort of stuff. But
yeah.
She was
I-
great.
I think that I didn't hear a lot of that, Wolfie, or I don't remember a lot of that.
Yeah.
All I heard was literally people bitching that it wasn't Wonder Woman. Like, that was the whole thing going into that. People like everyone was like, Tom Cruise, like, and they didn't see it. Everybody's like, oh, great, a movie where Tom Cruise is saving a woman. Like, that's not Wonder Woman. Like, as it came out in that thing, and if you remember, everybody was fucking bitching and moaning that, like, it's not Wonder Woman. And it was. I think that actually, in reality, like, I think it had even less to do with those type of movies than it seemed like it did, because it was a shared universe thing. Everybody was expecting.
Yeah.
Like, I think that this was a little, like, I didn't see Wonder Woman, but this was a little more
I do remember, like,
raw, I guess, than I would have expected it to be.
yeah, I do remember people talking about that. I don't remember too much. Was it just because Wonder Woman had just come out?
Yeah, like, even God bless him, and he's one of my heroes. But even Sir Isaac like wrote a thing like, "Oh, great, a movie about a 50-year-old man saving like a 20-something-year-old woman. And like that's not actually kind of what goes on in this movie. It happens the other way around actually more. Like Tom Cruise is pretty inept through almost the entirety of this,
he,
you know?
he Raven shadows it a few times.
Yeah. So like
Yeah, but how's it end? Okay. But think of this was actually this came out before Wonder Woman, and this was Dead on Arrival because we talked about it,
right?
About all the negative hype it got, and that was kind of my first thing watching it, where it wasn't that bad. Like the universal hate, and even I was talking.
I think it came out after Wonder Woman.
No,
are you sure?
I think this was one of the earliest.
I'll look it up.
I believe it was one of the earlier.
This was
that dropped
because Wonder Woman was definitely like they would like.
Yeah, this came out after.
Really?
Yep. June 9th, and Wonder Woman was in May. Cause
really?
Yep.
Jesus, my fucking timing.
I don't remember this movie coming out.
I know.
Wonder Woman was actually the week before, June 2nd. So.
Really?
Wonder Woman came out 1 week prior. So a lot of people were riding on that wave of, female empowerment.
Of heroism as opposed to hero worship.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is even. It's not apples
they're
to
not
apples.
comparable at all. No, they're not at all. So, but that's, it's a big Hollywood movie. One came out, one preceded it by a week. So, yeah. So, I get why people were talking about it, but there's no, it's like you can't compare them,
And there are also people who wanted this to fail, which was so irritating.
That's
to me.
the big thing is that people wanted this to fail because it features a 50-year-old dude.
Well, not I think it's that
not because
50-year-old.
it features that 50-year-old dude.
I don't think so. I think that anything other than a Star Wars movie that was like a big budget thing, like if Alien, which came out, I think around the same time as these, before, if that like was hung on the hat of like some, so I don't think it had a lot to do with. I think we're giving the internet at large more credit for their discerningness than it actually probably deserves. I don't think it had a lot to do with Tom Cruise. I think anybody. I think they, in retrospect, will say, but I think if this was, I can't even think of like if Tom Cruise necessarily has like a peer like that. But if you would like put, Ryan Gosling without a shirt on fighting aliens in the trailer for Alien, what the fuck's that thing called? Covenant. Put it out the same time as this, people would have been just as pissed in the same way. Because I think that films now, in lieu of social media, have become very political Trojan horses. And what happens is that people tend to pin their politics on things without even realizing that Hollywood doesn't give a fuck. Hollywood doesn't care about women's rights or the inequality of women in film. They just figured out
they care about making money.
Yeah, they just care. Yeah, they just care about making money. Yeah. They don't care that Tom Cruise is like a 50-year-old man and this else. They were just
he's still a bankable star.
Yeah, this is going to make money. Like they don't care.
Well, maybe that's the thing. They thought he was a bankable star, and he maybe isn't because he's a fucking lunatic.
Well, Jack Reacher did pretty good though right before this. I think it was a matter of that. They might have picked the wrong, because if there was like, they couldn't do Dracula because that Dracula movie just came out, right? And then a whole fucking shit ton of Frankenstein movies came out. So I think that their hand was forced.
Okay.
But The Mummy, you're kind of like, and no disrespect to anybody who these are maybe their favorite movies, but it's not like you're making like another Star Wars in people's eyes. Like you're making, for people who, again, giving the public at large thinking that they know as much as we know in both social, politically, and entertainment-wise, to a lot of people that I know, like the people who I worked with that don't pay attention to this stuff at all. This was like the fifth installment in the Brendan Fraser movies to them. You know what I mean? So you're swinging at like a lukewarm film franchise to try to bring people in. But I do really believe that this, people might say it, maybe some of it, but I don't think that, if you think that people are mad at that, look up what there's been 6 Mission Impossible movies. Like Jack Reacher did well enough to spawn a sequel, and then they greenlit a third one already. So I don't think people are like, people might be mad at that Tom Cruise is a lunatic, but not enough that they're not going to the movies.
I just like that we keep saying Tom Cruise is a lunatic.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's where some of the
it's hard to get
international-
people to wrap their head around the fact that he's into a fake religion that, has a lot of bad politics and conspiracy around it. You know what I mean? Like, for fuck's sake, look at the president. Like, people aren't fucking paying attention. It's
So I just want to go over some box office stuff here. So the budget for this film was $125 million, which is fairly modest in
Yeah,
this
right?
day and
That's-
age.
I mean, I don't know.
It's silly to say, but it is like it's not superhero money.
That seemed kind
and
of
it showed.
And the domestic gross was $80 million. So domestically in the States, it didn't make its budget, but this film did huge business overseas.
Right.
Foreign market, it did $327 million.
Holy shit.
So overall, it made $408 million in the box office. So it definitely exceeded its budget. I think that would mean that this was a success in theaters. It definitely was saved. I think it was China that did such huge money.
Yeah, Netflix. I think it was all the negativity, and then it opened pretty big in China. Which
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that could be said for the same Mission Impossible movies with the foreign markets.
Well, I think that those do good here, though. And do good. Like, America runs still weird now because there's a business model of things, bigger things, not like maybe not a slasher remake, say. You know what I mean? Maybe not something like that, but things still get a second life on video sales, for lack of a better way to put it. You know what I mean? And I think that those movies, I think that's built into it, knowing that, like the Fast and the Furious films, for instance, I actually think, I could be wrong about that, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if every single one of those Mission Impossible films had done better than the last one, because they're it's like a brand name, the same way as people might only go see one action movie a year, and if a Fast and the Furious or a Mission Impossible comes out every other year,
Right.
like that's the action movie that they're gonna go see. In the same way that if they remake, same way somebody might go see the Blumhouse is the horror equivalent of that. Like, somebody might go see Annabelle or what's that fucking Ghost Clap movie called, Wolfie?
The what?
The Ghost Clap movie?
Conjuring?
Conjuring,
Oh,
thank you.
Conjuring, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like they do good almost despite themselves, like.
So here's just since you mentioned it, Mission Impossible did this was in '96, domestic 180 and foreign 276. So that's a pretty damn good gross. And domestically, it did. Mission Impossible 2 did better, 215. So it went higher, and then foreign was 330. Mission Impossible 3 did less money, so it did 134 domestic and 263 foreign, and then was 4 Ghost Protocol, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one went up and did 209 domestic and 485 foreign. Holy shit!
What?
That was the
Really?
biggest one so far. And then we'll look. I guess we'll look at the last one.
What is that even one called? Rogue something?
Rogue Nation.
I saw that one. That one had Jeremy Renner, so he put me in.
Put you in the mood.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Had Simon Pegg too.
Yeah.
He's been the last couple.
Yeah.
That little ginger.
And they tend to add to the team and the villains, which might have more of a draw. Like I said, I was done with the series. I love 2, but like Renner got me back for Rogue Nation. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
And just to finish up, domestically it made 195 mil, and foreign 487.
Jesus
So
Christ!
I wonder how much they cost, though. That's
that one was 150 mil.
So it just broke even.
Domestically it made money,
Right.
and then foreign it made 487 million. So it made a
Jesus.
ton.
So the foreign market is keeping the lights on.
Huge,
for
yeah.
this.
Tom
Yeah.
Cruise basically is huge in the foreign market.
Wow.
Just looking at
Much
these
like
last few.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Well, look, I bet you the. I mean, as big as the Marvel movies are, like I think that and even probably Transformers, I bet you everything is like that now. Like I bet you that the foreign market, while it can save something, maybe in the case of the Mummy or underperforming action films and stuff, I bet you that like I would be surprised if, if you looked at the Avengers, if even though that Avengers 2 didn't do Avengers 1 money, I bet you it did awesome, outrageously foreignly.
Yeah.
I remember reading when I was arguing with I think Raven Shadow one day. I remember
you guys are arguing?
I remember looking that the Long Ranger or Green Hornet or one of those like did fucking.
It was Lone Ranger. It did
outrageous money internationally, like, and ended up like quadrupling its budget or something like that when all was said, even though it was like a giant failure here.
I enjoyed the Lone Ranger.
Yeah,
So
I
did
remember
I.
seeing that.
Very violent, oddly enough.
So did I.
at
I
times,
thought it
too.
was. I thought it was surprisingly good.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was before my love affair with Armie Hammer.
In the chat room, First Time Mike says, I liked this movie, but I wish it was more horror than action. And Cecil says, I can see that. I think the horror that made it in this was better than the Brendan Fraser, but not enough, no.
Yeah.
This is a cool scene. This is a cool scene. But what really pissed me off earlier was when he was shooting the gun in the inside the plane.
That pissed you off?
Well, I have a pet peeve. I don't like the enclosed, like when you shoot a gun in a car, and the sound doesn't fuck with people.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You know, and they had like shot 3 times with a hand cocked like this.
We shot guns in an interior space, Raven Shadow.
We were fucking awesome, dude. It was fucking dope. We had special effects. Someone could have got hurt.
I really
was
did
cool.
like this scene though,
Yeah.
where they're floating around in the. I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty cool.
Cecil said that Tom brought his stunt team to do that zero gravity plane stunt. So I guess he has his own stunt team.
Sir.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And so Cecil asked, he said, did that zero-G sequence do anything for you guys?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I turn 12 again when a film hits that gear. You know what I mean? When like it just is like ridiculous odds. You know what I mean? Like I just like the fucking plane's broken. They're all just floating around.
Yeah.
Like how, like there's no way that like you start trying to think of how they can get out. Like I love that shit all around.
Yeah, I mean they got absolutely zero control over what they're doing with their bodies, and I really appreciated that because it's like, it's not really. I mean, it's somewhat choreographed, but at the same time, it's not. And I really like that kind of like danger involved.
This is really cool. This is a cool scene. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get out now. He's gonna
Right.
get something. He's gonna. Oh no!
And it did something that I didn't expect at all too. Like that little plot point. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So.
First Time Mike says, Ghost Clap movie could be something totally different.
Just to throw in, it'd have been great. Sorry, it'd have been great if that was really how the last time we saw Tom Cruise in this movie.
yeah, no
like
kidding.
Steven Seagal in
Yeah.
that movie when he died.
Is the Drew Barrymore in Scream?
Yeah.
And Bosch says, catching them ghost STDs.
Oh, you don't want that.
So, and in the chat room, Bosch says Tom can do whatever the fuck he wants.
I'll tell you what I did like, and I'm sure you guys might have noticed it too. The references to other Universal horror movies that were mentioned.
Yeah, and we get a lot of that in the
Yeah.
scene coming up later. But was there other ones before?
The Gods and Monsters
Yeah.
line.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
There are far worse things awaiting man than death.
Death. Yep.
Oh, what was?
Naked Tom Cruise looks a lot like Naked Stallone did at that same age.
Yeah.
Except he looks a little. He's got a little something extra going on there, a little chub.
In the pants.
No, well, no, not in the pants, but
Only if they're mom jeans.
Chubbinthepants.com.
chubbinthepants.com.
Those are very well put together corpses for being in a plane crash.
Well, there were a couple of those little things that I had to remind myself about verisimilitude and not be mad about.
Oh,
But,
there's
like,
that word again.
The plane debris, I'm like, come on, that'd be spread out over like a lot of space.
Yeah.
And they would be mush. They wouldn't be whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be paste.
They would be based.
So, since the if we're talking about Universal monster movies, obviously it's probably not fair to compare this, but were you guys happy with the amount of horror that was in this, or would you have liked to have seen more?
I was on paper, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Like, I feel bad. Like, this CG was pretty good, all things considered. But I just fucking hate CG. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know how you could have done some of this stuff. It's certainly not on this budget or economically at all, but like, it just takes me out of it. You know what I mean? Like, it just like, I don't know. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I felt there are so many scenes in this, like the underwater scenes, that could have been really cool and scary.
Yeah.
But just didn't work for me. You know, like it would have been scary. Like, but it just didn't go. Like, you're not gonna make that car with the mummies hanging off it scary. The truck scene, but like,
or swimming mummies.
well, no, I was just saying
Yeah.
that this is the timestamp. I'm making a collection of times to prove that you don't listen to anything I say.
You might as well leave that on because I never listened to a word you said.
But the like, that would have been scary. I think like, I always find even something clunky like Shockwaves, or Zombie Lake, like, I find that stuff scary. Like, I mean, I'm afraid of water anyway, and if you can't, if your stuff.
You know what kind of bummed me out about any of the scenes in the water? Like, I understand that you have to light that shit, but what makes the water creepy as fuck is when
dark.
it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I do kind of like the. It reminded me of a video game when he's swimming and they came out of the.
Yeah.
Very like Tomb Raider like. I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, I think, and they definitely went for more of an action kind of,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
I should
this
say
is-
adventure.
Yeah, this is definitely action adventure with a horror vibe.
Yes,
but the horror vibe on this is
very light,
very muted.
Yeah. I would have preferred. There was some scenes that I mean, not much scares me, so I guess I'm not a good barometer. But there was some scenes that I could see scaring people.
I'm easy to scare, and there
Yeah.
wasn't much
Wasn't
that
any-
made
okay.
me jump. Like, I'm like, you could go like this behind me, and I'll probably go, ah!
A ghost clap?
Yeah. Give me a ghost clap. See, I did that. And I didn't. I think there was only once, knowing full well that there was going to be a jump scene there, and
Yeah.
I just kind of went, oh, that was a little.
And it is interesting because they're going for. I assume this movie was PG-13, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
I looked something. I
Yeah, it
wish
was,
I
yeah,
could remember what it was, but something happened that made me make sure it was PG-13. Like, I went and looked at IMDb, but I can't remember what it was.
It wasn't boobs.
No, I'm damn sure it wasn't that.
Yeah.
But that's
No
and that
harsh
could have been
language.
one of the reasons is maybe they were going for as wide a cast
Sure.
as wide a net as possible. They didn't want to have too many scary things in here, but I
mean,
think
they're
it
not
definitely
paying
would have helped.
Disney money, but they still paid enough money that they're not gonna
Right.
send people away upset. You know.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's why when those Blumhouse films work, they work because they're not reliant on repeat viewing, like say a Star Wars is or something like that. Like, you're gonna go once, you're gonna get scared, or normies are gonna go once, they're gonna get scared, and then they're not gonna go back.
Yeah. I thought some of this stuff was cool as she's kind of getting her power back. I thought,
Yeah.
it's
It's
kind of a cool little look.
Yeah, it's visually appealing, but overall, as far as a horror scene goes, there's really not much to it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I wasn't expecting it though. I feel like it was more than I expected in something that had Tom Cruise in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bosch says it would have been cool to drop the budget, go for an R rating, and actually try to scare people. First time Mike
Well-
says, I think there were scenes they could have went more for suspense than spectacle. And Bosch says, yeah, they went for an adventure film with more cowbell.
That's what. That's,
Well,
I mean, but
you don't have to have an R rating in order to scare people. It's not in the rating; it's in the
Cold.
writing, and in the writing, it's just not here as far as horror.
Cold.
As far as horror
this?
is concerned, it just doesn't jive.
I'm only chilly because I'm not wearing pants.
There's Monster Zero.
I'll put it on Energy Saver. It'll be a little cooler, I think, or a little warmer, I think. So yeah, I'm on the same boat. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more horror in this, but I totally understand why we got what we got. So, you know, it's just more of a, and I guess the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie was kind of more of an action adventure too, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So I guess there was a precedent set because that movie did fairly well, if I remember correctly.
Sure, and also to be fair, we weren't really doing horror when those Brendan Fraser movies came out.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. But I think that they had some moments here that were kind of inspired, and I do wish they could have gone a little bit further with them, like some of the scenes with, you know, some of the mummy powers. I guess like some of that shit could have been even scarier than they did it. But you know, they did what they did, and that's what we got. So
I thought the best scene in the movie, in my opinion, and it was because it was person on person action, was the Mr. Hyde locked in scene. I felt like that suspense.
That was cool, yeah.
That was a really good put together scene.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for this, and especially when you look at the amount of writers, there's like 6 writers. A lot of these big budget movies, they have producers who are saying, I want this,
Right.
I want this, I want this. And the writers are saying, we want to do this. So they bring in another writer because the producer's not happy.
Right.
Rewrite it the way I want it, blah, blah, blah. They do this. And then they have a problem. They bring in someone else. So these big budget movies, there's always this tug of war going on of who's getting control, who's going to be able to do what they want to do. And a lot of times they end up being a muddled mess.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
And
And there's no compromise.
well, that's a really good point, John. I mean, once again, if this is going to be the lead off to
Yeah.
dark universal universe, so to speak, like I'm sure they had their original pitch. So I'm kind of fascinated by that. The original pitch and how they were going to lead into the next film. Wasn't the rumor the next film was going to be Bride of Frankenstein? Did I hear that?
supposedly,
And
yeah.
potentially Johnny Depp I tossed around to be the Invisible Man.
Yeah,
I
don't know if
actually
I
heard
dreamt
that the next one in line was going to be Young Frankenstein.
That'd be great. Yeah. Actually, based off the domestic, there will not be a next one.
Memoirs of Invisible Man.
So you have we're going to lead off. We're going to start a shared universe. We want to have this beat,
God
this
bless
beat, and this beat.
aviators.
But then you have, like you said, you have the committees and the guy that paid $1 million who wants to return his investment.
Sure.
And so it becomes a jambalaya.
It's like a tug of war from
Right,
like
right.
10 different directions. It's like no one's going to fucking win because everyone's pulling in different directions, you know? And I do think that a lot of these big budget Hollywood blockbusters suffer from that. And, you know, they become a muddled mess because, you know, there's so many people invested in it, literally and figuratively, and they all want something different, you know? So I'm not saying that this movie is a muddled mess. I think it's pretty straightforward, honestly. I think there is a lot going on, and I think it did kind of lose sight of what it should have been. I don't know. I just feel that I think they could have had a better arc for Amanette. I think that a lot of times she took a back seat when she should have been maybe more in the forefront.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I was happy until it ended with where she was in the movie because I get so sick of. One thing about the Marvel movies is that the villains get overshadowed.
Yep.
But I felt like she was fine, but then I realized that it was at a point where like, holy shit, this is ending soon, and I felt like it was like wow, she's halfway there, and then it was done. But I mean, I guess if you're looking at the fact that the only reason Loki matters is that he was in every single movie, like he didn't actually have much to do in any one movie, like a Red Skull, like one of the best villains in the Marvel universe was just kind of he was in Captain America.
Yeah.
He's on the poster.
Cecil says that Bride of Frankenstein 2019 with Javier Bardem will be directed by Bill Condon, who directed Gods and Monsters.
Javier Bardem's playing the Bride of Frankenstein?
Well, I don't think he's
That's
playing the
outrageous.
bride, but he's in it. I don't know.
That's fucking going out there.
So that looks like that might be the next one. It seems like a long time to wait if they want to start a cinematic universe, you know?
There was a long bump in between Iron Man and anything else.
Was it Iron Man and then Iron Man 2 or?
There was Iron Man and then a Hulk movie that was being made anyway.
They both dropped the same
Yeah.
the same year.
Right.
But the Hulk wasn't tied in with it, was it?
Yes, it was.
Well, it wasn't that they, but it was after the fact.
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. They were the first 2 films by Marvel. Was
They,
Hulk and
but Hulk was coming out anyway.
right,
And
but
then they added the post-credit scene after. It wasn't
Oh,
originally
okay.
supposed to be part of.
But
the thing.
it was still they were the first 2 films that Marvel did on their own.
I don't think
They were.
I don't think that somebody still owned the Hulk. Like Marvel Studios didn't happen until like Iron Man wasn't like Marvel Studios was later. Like if there wouldn't have been like a thing if Iron Man had failed.
No, they were both by Marvel Studios. If you look that up, you'll see they were the first 2 films. I'm not gonna go to fucking war over Marvel fucking films, but they were the first fucking 2 that were under the Marvel produced. The Ed Norton Hulk.
Norton.
Right. They were all right.
Norton.
It's probably a bad time to bring up the fact because it's not out yet that I actually have a podcast about this. But
First time Mike says, if this is the genesis of the Dark Universe, I would have set this in the 80s and used the resurrection of the mummy as the catalyst for the monsters returning across the globe.
Exactly.
they may.
And Bosch says they're straight up labeling it as horror as far as the Bride of Frankenstein goes as well. And First Time Mike also says, and for heroes for the Dark Universe, you have survivors, mad scientists, and reformed monsters a la Larry Talbot.
The Wolf.
So interesting. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. One thing we haven't talked about is the Dr. Jekyll scene. There's a ton of Easter eggs in that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the trophies or the.
Yeah,
The
I'm gonna
glass.
try to
Yeah.
get there and see if we can
Was there
see some of
a
that.
was there a hand of the merman?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's a creature from the Black
Creature.
Lagoon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Or a merman, I guess.
A
A
merman.
creature of the Black Lagoon.
So a mere person.
Oh yeah,
The
this
Dracula.
Is, yeah.
Yep.
So we're watching that scene now, so we can see all the Easter eggs. But I thought that was cool, and it definitely shows sort of a much larger world here.
Oh, squid. Yeah.
As the
Yep.
creature's hand.
Creatures.
So
Adam Warlock.
that's a wrong movie.
So I could appreciate this movie for throwing in those little Easter eggs and little, pieces of dialogue here and there just to, make reference to the old Universal monsters, and I appreciate that. I mean,
Did you guys like
it wasn't hammered over your head with it either.
Yeah.
It was done very subtly.
Did you guys like the use of Dr. Jekyll?
Yes.
I'm a huge
I
Jekyll
think
and
so.
Hyde mark. I love Russell Crowe. I kind of wish it was more of a transformation, if that's nitpicking. He kind of grew larger and kind of got distorted.
Yeah, I feel like they might, they gave themselves, no pun intended, room to go, though.
Yeah. But overall, yeah, I think their bit of business in the library or wherever they fought was the best part of the flick.
First time Mike says I loved Russell Crowe in this. Yeah, I liked him too. I thought he was good as Dr. Jekyll. And Cecil says, "What's more of Dynamo's Universal favorites countdown? He's got so many to go."
It's true.
So I think we did 13, 12, and 11, right?
Yep.
What was 11 again?
The creature.
The
Returns.
return. Okay, yeah. So
Well, that was 12. Hunchback was 11.
Oh,
and
that's right, okay.
Number 10
number 10.
is another sequel. I think it's the last time that Karloff played the role that made him famous. And it's Son of Frankenstein.
Interesting. I didn't expect to see that on your list.
And number 9
Number 9.
is another Karloff vehicle and launched the film we're talking about today, and that's The Mummy.
Ooh.
The Mummy. All right. So we got 13 through 9. Dynamo will continue to go through. Maybe after we do the verdict, Dynamo, and before we hit to break, we'll do a couple more.
Okay.
Let's see. I want to see if there's anything else. I do want to talk. I guess it's such a nitpicky thing, but that scene where there's the glass exploding everywhere, like it just really bugs me when they're running through glass and nobody gets a fucking cut on them at all.
Yeah.
You know, it just come on, just
That's
just
that's
a little on
movie
the
magic.
face or something.
Yeah,
You know,
a couple scratches on the neck, it ain't gonna kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Flash depends on how deep they are.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Yeah,
have a
something
little
for
bit of
your eye.
shredded clothing, you know.
I did like the stuff with Jekyll Hyde, though. I liked the sort of they teased it, and then later on what happens. I thought that was kind of cool.
What's with the glove though?
I don't know.
He probably has a monster hand underneath.
Ooh. Don't play cards with him.
I did like that
That
scene.
was-
Yeah,
though.
that was
yeah.
dope.
The
That
hand
was-
scan.
I-
Yeah,
The hand
that was-
scan, yeah.
that tickled me.
yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that was dope. That was
I
cool.
didn't. I think the thing that bothers me is I didn't really. I want to see the mummy out fucking destroying shit. I don't want to see her like chained up for like a quarter of the movie. You
Right.
know, that's I think what kind of bugged me a little bit is I think they could have done better with her character. But otherwise, I thought she was badass. Like for the most part, I thought they did a pretty good job.
When she
of-
let the shit hit the fan, she let it hit the fan. She did a pretty good job during the last reel of the film.
To
Yeah.
be fair, though, as it turns out, it wasn't actually her origin story.
right.
So it like to not give that character their due, all that would have seemed very rushed, I guess.
Yeah.
So because it was an interesting thing, because almost every character in the movie is more inept and or less inept and more engaging than who we followed for a big chunk of it. But
Yeah.
the way it all pans out.
All right. Is there anything else in this flick that we haven't discussed yet that any of you guys are interested in talking about before we head to the verdict?
No.
No? Mars, you get everything?
Yeah.
Ms. M, anything else? All right. So let's head to the verdict on this one.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right. Verdict time. We'll let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts. Kick it off with the Raven Shadow.
Look, this movie is not that bad. You know, like I was talking to somebody at the shop.
Is this top 13?
Yeah, they ain't say
material
top.
for you?
You know what fucking the way this year is? It's probably. I mean, to be honest, I think Goldface is going to get me in trouble at the end of the year. He's going to fuck up the algorithm. Spoiler alert: probably 1 through 5. 5 through 1. It's fucking hard. But no, I was talking to someone. I'm like, oh, I saw the new Mummy movie, and his first reaction was, "Why? Like, why would you do that?" It's like, did you see it? No. You heard somebody talk about it on the internet that it was bad.
Right.
You know, you didn't fucking see it. You know, it's better than fucking episode 1. I'll tell you that much. It's better than Batman and Robin. You know, whatever the fuck. I liked it. I think some of the CGI or the lot of the falling seemed very formulaic. It didn't really do a lot for me. But overall, I did enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a treat.
All right.
Not that bad.
Let me just read real quick in the chat room. Cecil says they gave Jekyll leadership of the paranormal cryptozoology league kind of easily, just like in the upcoming Godzilla stuff. It's very Hellboy.
I thought it was very Hellboy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Cecil says, "Son of, wow." And it says, "Yeah, Mummy." And,
Top Gun.
First time Mike says, "I like the fact that Dr. Jekyll is just as obsessive as crazy as Hyde." And Bosch says, "Glass in movies are just like spider webs these days."
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And Cecil says, "Yep, they chained her up so easily." Jekyll was like, "Give me any plot hole."
Maybe she's into that, though.
It's kind of sexy, right?
All right, let's go to Monster Zero.
Yeah, you got an action adventure film here with with horror tropes and horror elements, and I think the idea of CGI horror is a bad idea. That being said, this isn't a totally terrible flick. I think they underused the character of Aminette. Is that her name?
Aminette, yeah.
Aminette. I think I gotta agree with you, Johnny. I think she was underused. I did enjoy the small little Easter eggs and and lines of dialogue. That was fun.
Do you need more room?
But this isn't a terrible movie. But it's I don't think I'll be watching this again. That being said, I will give this a tepid treat.
Tepid treat.
All right, let's go to Ms. M.
I like my entertainment to be entertaining. I don't want to have to think too much about it, and this film delivered. So I'm going with a treat.
Nice.
All right, Marsman.
I just figured out why she loves me.
Yep.
This wasn't Wonder Woman. This is a treat.
No, because you haven't seen Wonder Woman.
I liked it.
And because she's not in Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Egyptian.
Ooh.
I like this treat.
And she's not a mummy; she's buried
Though,
alive.
She's buried alive.
I will say as a bit of a caveat that, and I know that you can't, I know there's no way to do it. Like, so I'm saying that beforehand without having that debate. But like, I feel like the CGI being a little better or not being CG all the time could have made this a great movie.
Yeah, fair.
Vivisepulture. That's what being buried alive. Vivisepulture.
Yes.
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 Listen to you.
You're the only one I know that can make buried alive sound sexy.
Can you say it again slowly?
Don't you dare.
Vivisepulture.
Come on.
Timestamp.
We're awful. We're too close together for that sort of stuff. And the fans
Jesus
off.
Christ.
The fans off now, so.
Jesus.
Ooh, it's getting hot in here.
All right, so
Thank you.
For me, let's see. This to me was just a straight up Hollywood summer blockbuster. Like, I didn't expect anything else other than that. It was kind of mindless fun. If I'm going to nitpick, I would have liked to see more out of this. I would have liked to see more horror. I would have liked to see them expand the story with Aminette. And, it definitely, it's not a perfect flick. It is flawed. And I think that what we talked about, having 6 writers and probably 100 producers, was they're each pulling this in its own direction. It's very difficult to get a singular voice in on a film like this with so much money involved. And I think because of that, it does get a little muddled, and it's definitely not perfect. But it is mindless fun, and I thought that this was fine. Like, there's nothing terrible about it. There's nothing offensive. It's just kind of an action adventure with a little bit of horror in it. And I would have much preferred to have more horror and maybe a little bit of action adventure on the side. But that's what they did. It made huge money overseas. So that means the Dark Universe will continue, as indicated by the dudes in the chat room talking about the Bride of Frankenstein, which is an interesting choice for the next one. But it is what it is. It was a mindless fucking Hollywood blockbuster, and
you gotta judge it by that too. I mean, it ain't Casablanca. It's not gonna, you know what I mean, or it's not.
Oh my God! Oh, we got Raven J. Raven J's art.
Wow.
Mars, could you see this?
That's pretty great. That's
All right, I gotta post this.
That's terrific.
It is MZ with his orc face.
I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, really. Do I look like an orc?
And underneath it says the dummy.
You big dummy.
You big dummy. All right, so let me go ahead and get this going so people can see this. This is amazing. Raven J.
Aminette Johnson.
And you can see he copied the poster.
And that's not a good poster. That's a great drawing, but that's really not a great poster.
I liked it better than the other ones. I picked that one specifically because I thought I liked it better.
That's beautiful.
I might have to make that might have to make that my wallpaper.
That's right. That's one of my.
The dummy.
Man, that's really good.
You big dummy. So there you go. Everyone watching the live show can see this piece of art. And if you're not watching the live show, too bad. But it's a pretty fucking hilarious. It's amazing. Thank you, Raven J. You're the best, man. Jesus Christ, that's incredible. All right, so we'll get rid of that. And that is going to do it. Oh, I didn't finish up. I'm going to say tepid treat. It's not a full-blown treat. It's fun. It is what it is. So if you're interested, go check it out. It's available on VOD now. I believe actually you have to buy it right now, but I think it might have went wide VOD, so it is available if you guys want to check it out. And next week, you guys ready for next week?
I don't know.
Raven Shadow.
Yes.
We're doing a double feature next week. Just letting you know. You got to prepare. All right.
Can one be good?
I hope they're both good. No. So next week we're doing 2 films. One we're going to do anyways that just hit VOD, but it just happened to also come out on Netflix same day, which was weird. Usually the VOD flicks wait a couple months, and then we were going to do this one anyways, and it dropped on Netflix seemingly without any announcement otherwise. I mean, at least I didn't know it was coming out. So next week we will be doing Adam Wingard's version of Death Note. We're going to do the live-action Death Note.
I already had that queued up on my Netflix.
It's a Netflix exclusive, so you have to check it out there. And then we're also going to do a new vampire flick that just popped up on Netflix as well, and that is The Transfiguration.
Ooh.
So both available on Netflix.
That's got new meaning these days.
Netflix or Transfiguration?
Transfiguration.
Yes.
Hi, I'm trans. Oh, you becoming? No, I'm becoming a vampire.
So we're going to do those 2 flicks. They're both available on Netflix, guys. So we've been doing this new thing where we're trying to do a topic for every feedback segment. Next week, in lieu of doing a topic, you guys can send us your reviews of those flicks because they're both available on Netflix. So The Transfiguration, Death Note, they're on Netflix. Check them out. Let us know what you think. And for any folks who are fans of the anime Death Note, I would love to hear some thoughts, compare and contrast the live-action film directed by Adam Wingard versus the manga or the anime. I would love to hear some about that. So, if you guys are interested, let us know what you think. I'd love to hear. And we are now going to head to a break, and we'll be back in just a few moments.
2 and 2. One dark and stormy night in the mid-'80s, Joe Bob Briggs, Harlan Ellison, and the ghost of El Santo pulled a train on Elvira while Siskel and Ebert sobbingly masturbated in the corner. From that union arose the greatest movie critic and luchador that ever lived. But we're not going to talk about him. He's kind of a dick. Instead, we're going to talk about me, El Goro, the stuttering movie fan and host of the Talk Without Rhythm podcast. Every week on Talk Without Rhythm, I discuss 2 to 3 movies tangentially tied together by a theme. I cover action.
I'm the most complete fighter in the world.
Sci-fi.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Horror.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
And the continuing adventures of James Spader, sexual deviant.
You're not worried that I'm going to fuck you, are you? I'm not interested in that, not in the least. Now pull up your skirt.
So check me out at tworpodcast.blogspot.com, drunkenzombie.com, or subscribe on iTunes. Talk Without Rhythm, the only podcast that will not attract the worm. Adios.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Fueled by tacos, beer, and Bloody Marys, the only show featuring baby Jesus with a nail gun, the pride of PA, and the show with the eye of the tiger, ladies and gentlemen, Punch Farm.
Hey, this is Mark from Punch Farm. I'm here with Mark Dose. Hello. I'm here with Alicia.
Hello.
I'm here with Nikki.
Hey.
Join us every Monday as we talk about life, tacos, beer, and movies. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and punchfarm.com.
Keep on punching!
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
And we have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. MZ's doing the robot. He's doing the ribbit. The ribbit. Ribbit.
Rub it down.
And Bosch says, I just noticed the jug of juice still ain't big enough. What are you drinking there, MZ?
Oh, I'm drinking Simply Lemonade with raspberry. This shit's the bomb.
There you go. MZ's got a big
Simply,
jug of juice.
Look, the Simply brand is just awesome. It's so good.
A new sponsor of the show. And Bosch says, I want to see like a 4-liter box of juice.
That says I don't drink usually a bottle at a time.
Bosch says, every cup of that drink has 50 grams of sugar. Good stuff.
Hey, it's keeping me awake, man.
Actually, I would suspect with the way your blood sugar is leaning that it's probably putting you to sleep.
It's Simply Lemonade and lots of simple sugars.
Yeah.
Few complex
No
carbs.
fructose or high corn syrup. So
well, at least
just all just all natural sugar.
All natural sugar, yeah.
That's right. It is. It's all natural. It says right here, all natural.
I've become obsessed with it, and it has real sugar in it, so it's either better or worse for you depending on what side of the conversation you land on. But I've been drinking this stuff called Mellow Tea. I love it. It works too.
Nick posted a picture of Ricky Schroeder.
Yep.
And his stepmom's vagina from was it Jason?
Jason
9?
Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Freddie meets Jason in hell. I wonder what Buck Rogers thinks of what became of Wilma.
Wilma.
Not that Wilma.
All right, so we got some voicemails. And actually, before we do that, Mars, let's go. Let's continue on with your top 13.
I think we got some emails too, or at least a email.
We did get an email, yep.
Okay. Number 8.
Number 8.
The Invisible Man.
Ah, yes.
Choice.
Good old Claude Rains running amok.
I think that's going to be the scariest concept for me. Like, I love the idea that someone could just walking around and fucking with you constantly.
Like,
if you saw the
like Kevin Bacon, the Hollow Man.
Yeah, that Kevin Bacon one, he was actually fucking with people. That's weird.
And that escalated really fucking quickly.
Right,
Like,
he
he
was
got
really
invisible,
rapey.
couldn't sleep, went right into the assault.
Yeah.
Like
That was my first superpower pick, though. Like if I was invisible, you would never see me again. No pun intended.
No, we definitely see some traces.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually behind them.
Follow the drip. Follow the drip.
Miss Matrix dog just be barking all the time.
Willie would kill you. He's a good
I would.
dog.
I would be
He's
polite.
the best boy.
I would just use my invisibility to hang out with you. Be nice.
And you wouldn't know I was there.
In the shower. Number 7.
Towel? What?
I have a revised version of this poster on my wall.
I
done
know.
by the amazing Grimbro.
Yep, I know which one.
Except in the real film, the monster is played by the very unlikely Bela Lugosi. And on the poster on my wall, the amazing Grimbro made it be Karloff, who is the best and my favorite Frankenstein. And the film in question is Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman.
Yes.
And number 6 is just the plain old Wolfman. No Frankenstein. 100% Frankenstein free.
All right. So what we'll do, Mars, is between each voicemail, we'll have you do another one until we get to one.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and read that email that we got first. And this is from Myra. And she says, "Hey, Trick or Treat Radio. I heard Ms. M was going to be on tonight.
Hi, Myra.
I don't get to see her much, especially now that I ended up moving even further away from Necronomicon. But I wanted her to know how much I appreciate her. She is an inspiration to us all. She works hard and plays hard and is just as beautiful inside as she is out. She's been an amazing friend to Dynamo during his treatments and recovery. You can tell from the outside that she is his rock. She is the person you want in your corner. Not only can she kick anyone's ass that messes with you, but if she is in your corner, you know she'll support you and will have your back no matter what. The song she wrote for Dynamo, The Attic, makes me cry when I hear it. Such a great song. Ms. M has been nothing but awesome to me as a new fellow Deadite. I'll never forget the night I got to stay at her place after rocking out at the Cove together at last year's Rock and Chalk weekend.
I think about that night, too.
She is the best hostess ever. We had pillow fights, ate scones, and talked about boys.
And I sent her home with some outfits.
Whoa.
I know.
She says, I'm just kidding. We did really eat scones, though.
Yeah, we did. They were really good scones.
And you did really talk about me. It's okay.
Well, if you're a boy, yeah.
They're like, we hate him.
Anyways, thanks for being awesome, Ms. Matrix. You are my rock and roll queen. Kiss, kiss, hug, hug. Love always, Myra.
Oh my God, I love her so much. Myra, thank you so much. You are just the most wonderful human being on the planet. It's easy being nice. It's really easy being nice to her because she's just such a sweetheart. I love her.
She's a doll.
I'm gonna miss
And
her.
she's so fierce on stage. I
Oh, yeah, yeah.
love looking up and watching her play. And then that voice comes out of her and she's fucking screaming at people and I want to punch her.
Talking about dumping bodies.
I just want to put her in my pocket. Ooh, I love that one. She's coming home with me.
I'm gonna miss her. And
I know. It's not fair.
It is not. It's not fair at all. All right, so
we are going to do a photo shoot soon, I think. So we'll all be together for a little bit.
I need a little time.
Sexy. All right, well, let's...
Can anyone see my eyes squinted shut? And
no, because you're wearing glasses.
It's working. See?
All right, I'm really curious to see what he has to say about the Universal monster movies, and I know you are too, Dynamo. And let's hear...
Should I do number 5 first?
Let's do it.
Sure.
I thought that's how we were doing it. I can wait.
Well, I was going to do after the voicemails,
sorry,
not
sorry.
the email, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Number 5. One of the most beautiful films ever committed to film. Celluloid, I guess. So ahead of its time in its both technique and makeup art, or physical makeup, or a creature that I feel like only its iconicness, not its craft, make it not scary today. I feel like if this creature came at you and it's like, in its home environment, I feel like it still works today. You could still film this today, and that's the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, definitely. Do you remember...
Beautifully shot underwater scenes.
I think it was
So
the
great.
early 80s. They had like Universal monster action figures that were scaled to like Star Wars and whatnot. And I had the creature one.
I had 2.
I loved it.
I had one that was glow in the dark,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
had one that was just normal. See, I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the show, but I ate all my action figures.
That's weird. I never ate my toys.
Yeah, no, I did. like Kenner was like my 5th food group.
You're the
I would be
second-
a billionaire today if I didn't eat all my toys. I just ate them all.
I never ate paste. I knew it looks like marshmallow fluff, but I never had that urge. I don't know.
It's not what it looked like. It tasted minty.
Oh, fair.
Did you ever eat one of the polar bears that you got from the Science Museum?
No.
I did, but that's because Tiny told me it tastes like wax teeth.
Sold.
Which, as an aside, doesn't taste very good either. So I'm not positive why I thought I was gonna fucking just eat my souvenir.
$14 in the gift shop.
And my parents thought someone stole my money because I ate my souvenir. It sucked. I got a wax polar bear.
Wax polar bear. All right, so let's hear from our boy Cecil.
Hello, Trick or Treat Radio, Cecil. Wanted to give you some voicemail on the Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I feel obligated to say rest in peace to Toby Hooper.
Yeah.
And I want to retroactively do that for Romero. Because this feels like, for horror fans, this reminds me of 2007. Because in 2007, on the same day, in July 30th, we lost Ingmar Bergman and Michelangelo Antonioni. And this is a very similar circumstance. You know, you got two greats, big time. So I want to parallel them to some other great names and then talk about some horror movies.
Yeah.
So the countdown, top 5. Number 5, I'm going to say Universal. We'll go with The Hunchback to give props to Lon Chaney, the original. And then we'll go to Creature from the Black Lagoon. Love the setting. I love the creature, and I love the use of 3D with black and white. This is one of the later Universal monster movies to be shot in black and white. It has more of a modern pace and vibe, I think, than the other Universal monster movies. And it's kind of unique. It's just a really fun movie. And exotic. And then I like... Number 3 is The Wolfman, because I couldn't put Claude Rains in as the Invisible Man, because I figure here he is playing Lon Chaney Jr.'s dad really well, and then they got to deal with this gypsy curse stuff with wolves. Classic movie. I don't know what to say. It sets a standard for sure. Number 2, Frankenstein. Boris Karloff... and his name escapes me, but the man who played the doctor was the Dr. Frankenstein. Fantastic. What to say about Frankenstein except that you get 2 great films, Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein. All right. He's still scary. Number 1 is Dracula, which is the best. Bela Lugosi. The greatest. All right. Thanks.
Well, awesome list, Cecil. And it's interesting to hear, other people's choices, because there's so many of the Universal films, and it's always interesting to hear what everyone's favorite is. So, very cool list, and you obviously had a lot of the ones that Dynamo's already named. A few you haven't yet, so I'm curious if they're going to show up on yours, Dynamo, or if they're not. So, very cool. Thanks, Cecil. I appreciate it, bud. What? You're staring at me. You are. All right. And Ms. M just sent me a cool piece of art from good friend of the band and the show. I'm going to show that in just a moment. It's from the amazing Derek Ring.
Oh.
And I'm going to show that in just a moment. And... Mars, why don't you go ahead and give your number? Are we on 4 now? You gotta put the mic in front of your mouth.
Well, I keep losing my list. I'm trying to take notes, and should have wrote it on a plate.
Yeah. Well, what about your list, Raven Shadow? We forgot about it.
I scaled it back. Well, Dynamo go first.
Number 4.
Yes.
One of the most beautiful films ever. A lot of it. Part of it is, some very good cinematography, but another part of it is like just an incredible, set. I think it was a set. I think they rebuilt it in scale perfectly, but it might have actually been shot at this famous venue. But it is Bela Lugosi. Sorry, Lon Chaney Sr. and the beautiful Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah.
And this has one of my top 5 favorite scenes in film history, where the angry mob is coming up on either side of him at the canal, and he runs down the stairs. He turns around to face them, and he lifts his hand like he's got something in it, and they all recoil in horror. And then with a big, Cesar Romero-like smile, he, grins and opens his hand to show that there's nothing in there, and then takes off like a total prick. Something that wasn't often seen in the Universal Monsters, or wasn't seen again until the glut of 80s flippant slashers. That was like a trickster type monster, and I just feel like such a nuanced performance by Chaney in this film, putting across like the monster and the tragic character, and someone whose madness is made get off on actually scaring people. So I just think it's great.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a very long time. But there you go, number 4. And Ms. M, does that happen to be you in that photo?
Oh, God, no. I was never an actual model.
You did have long hair at one time.
Yeah, for like 15 minutes. No, I had long hair from when I was a little bitty girl to till I was about, we'll say 2002. We're gonna go ahead and not say how old I was. And then it went away.
Yes.
Permanently. I will never have long hair again. This is as long as it gets.
It was longer just recently, you goddamn liar.
This is long. Look at that. Look at all this hair.
It was longer in the back recently, though, I remember.
That's it.
Raven J says, so what's the end result of these Universal movies? They destroy all monsters kind of thing? Bring in the Monster Squad and the Frog Brothers? Then I'm totally in.
Ooh.
Well, I think that there's definitely going to be a Van Helsing, right?
There's got to be, right?
I think that... I think we just found out that the Dark Universe isn't necessarily going to focus on the monsters. I think you're going to get a group of...
Avengers.
Yeah. Whether Cruz comes back in Bride or...
See, that's interesting, too. Like, I wonder how much his involvement in some of where the script was going as well. I mean, I think he would have signed on for a picture deal. Probably all those guys did, right?
But you're going to get, I mean, 2019, we're talking about an almost 65-year-old man. A 55-year-old man.
He's 55 now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 54.
55.
So 50. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm doing math out loud.
But how old is...
So it'll be 57.
How old's Downey? Downey's in his 50s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he was 45 when...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so... But I mean, I think that we're going to see, if we get there, I think we're going to see a lot of different
characters coming in.
Yeah, a different Iron Man. I think.
Yeah.
So.
Raven J says the creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite Universal monster. You can't go wrong with the creature, right?
Yeah.
And Julie Meow Meow says, "Hey guys, just popping in for a minute."
Julie Meow Meow.
And Julie says, "My favorite Universal monster is a demon zombie Jason."
Julie Meow Meow, I can't quit you.
All right, so we heard from Mars about his number 4. Let's hear from Carlos. Carlos sent in a couple voicemails. Let's hear the first one.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio, this is Carlos. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
And I got a bone to pick with Mars. Seems last week he was
How come no one
talking
ever
smack
calls
about
any of these
one of my
assholes
most
on anything?
favorite bands of all time. And that would be the all-time great Papa Roach.
Oh, shit.
I mean, Mars, how can you not like this band? This band is like musical geniuses. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. So I'm going to just say this. Fuck Papa Roach. I hate that band. I absolutely hated...
I knew it,
probably
Carlos.
still haven't heard it in a long time, thank God, but I hate that band. Oh my God. Preach on, Mars. Preach on. That's... Holy crap. I would turn on the radio and then all I hear is, got my light and then I would just turn it off for like the 5 minutes. I wouldn't want to give these people radio time. I didn't have any other stations I really wanted. Just turn it off, work. 5 minutes later, turn it back on, and something good would come on. So that's it. I thought I'd just do that. So thank you for letting the world know that Papa Roach is not a great band.
No, that's an understatement.
More like they're more like Kaka Roach.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
More like asshole.
It's true. I was about to get mad because I realized I don't know why
he had me.
I don't know why I realized it today. Oh, because someone messaged you and I and we're talking about something that somebody said earlier, like they're like 5 or 6 episodes behind. But like I realized that like these guys say some crazy outlandish shit, and no one ever calls them on anything in a voicemail. But like I'll say I don't like Rage Against the Machine, and the fucking internet explodes.
Yep.
Man balls.
More
like asshole.
Papa Roach. More like asshole. Oh man, Carlos had me going. I thought he was a big fan.
No, I knew it. The minute he said musical genius, I'm like,
yeah, that was a little too far.
You could tell he was kidding.
Corny says this is the best call ever. And Julie says, hey, you guys need a PO. I have a sweet poster for you to throw on the wall.
Parole officer?
I think you got that covered, Ray.
You might need one.
Hey, Julie Meow Meow, I'll message me or I'll message you, and we'll get that squared away.
And not for nothing, like my house came with a mailbox. It was just fucking out front there when I moved in.
Message me, message you.
All right, so Mars.
Oh, fuck.
Ready for number 3?
Not really.
Define.
Well, all right, I'll play the Carlos's next voicemail. How
Okay.
about that? We'll do a double tap of Carlos here.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio, it's Carlos again. Now that the Papa Roach antics are out of the way, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on my favorite Universal movie monster.
Yeah.
And for me, that would have to be Frankie Jr., little Frankenstein's creature.
Yeah.
And for me, why he's my favorite is that he holds up the most in terms of scariness against all the other Universal monsters. I remember seeing Frankenstein back in high school as part of our English curriculum. We were reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And I remember the scene where they first introduced the creature. I can't remember who exactly, but what I remember is that when he introduced the Karloff character and how Karloff was turning around, and then they focused on his eyes and how Karloff really sold the dead eyes of that creature. He knew where to point the eyes. There was no twitching, and the eyelids just dead. And I thought that was pretty creepy. And that's kind of one thing that I have a problem with some zombie movies, is that they don't make the zombies look dead enough. And so how Karloff was able to sell the creature and how that's so legendary really shows. So that's my pick. And that actually goes back to last week's question, best cinematic zombie. I think I don't remember anybody saying or bringing up Carlos's Frankenstein Jr. So, I mean, he's technically a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
He was dead. He was brought back to life. He doesn't eat flesh, but, you know, I don't think that's a necessary requirement. You know, you can be a zombie without having to eat flesh. I mean, he's not the Romero zombie type zombie, but, you know, zombie, you know, so...
Don't get stoned.
That's it. That's all I got. So I'll talk to you guys later. Mars, you continue to get better, and
Thanks,
I'll talk to you guys maybe next week. All right. See ya. Bye.
Awesome, Carlos. Thanks, buddy. That was
He's actually a
good pick.
reanimate, but
Actually, it should be noted that it's Mary Shelley's birthday today.
Thanks for stealing my thunder.
What do you mean stealing your thunder? It didn't belong to you.
Well, it was in my notes right here for my part of my intro for the next film. Thanks.
Well, then at least we know what your next film is going to be.
There was 11 of these throughout the Universal Monster thing, so you probably don't.
Well, let's see you surprise me then.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Anyone who's been in my basement.
And escaped.
That's a hell of a way to
and
start
made
out.
it out alive.
And made it out alive.
Knows I'm coming for them.
And avoided the radiator.
I'm invisible now.
Let's not talk about the radiator. Anybody who's been in my basement knows how near and dear this particular character is to me. On Mary Shelley's birthday, though not a very accurate.
It's her birthday? I had no idea.
Thank you. Not a very, not a very accurate adaptation of the book per se, but my favorite rendition of my favorite monster, and that is Swerve, Frankenstein.
Ooh.
Wow, you really threw me.
Wow.
That was unexpected.
Yeah. All right. Frankenstein. All right, well, let's hear from First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. How's everybody doing?
Good, buddy.
Nice.
Hopefully all is going well with you guys. And hello to Miss M. Hopefully you're still here when this voicemail is playing. I'm a big fan. Your commercial that's usually on every episode, I consider the high point of every episode.
Thanks.
I'm more of a rum man myself, but I would sit and drink whiskey with you all night long. You are
a good
great,
bourbon.
Great lady.
You're doing it wrong.
About the Universal Monster movies.
Yeah.
My favorite is Bride of Frankenstein.
There you go.
Bride of Frankenstein is a great blend of that dark humor and horror that only James Whale could do. Brilliant lighting, but a surprisingly humanistic version of it, where you kind of feel sorry for Dr. Frankenstein. Dr. Pretorius is just a crazy cackling madman, and Boris Karloff and Elsa Lancaster, in about the couple minutes she's in the movie, both steal the movie. Karloff's Frankenstein, always creeped me out as a child, because I remember they had a local promo for the Universal Monsters, and they would play Joe Cocker's "You Are So Beautiful" thing, and every time that Karloff's Frankenstein came on, it would scare the hell out of me. But as I got older, I got to appreciate just how unique that Karloff's visual features and his portrayal of Frankenstein lent a uniqueness to his version of the character that I like the other versions that Universal had of Frankenstein, but Karloff's version just had a different feel to him that was very powerful. And Elsa Lancaster, I wish she was in more of the movie, but just her wordless scream when she sees the monster is it's a beautiful movie. I recommend go see Bride of Frankenstein, even if you don't like black and white horror movies. It's well worth it. It's a great, solid Universal film. I have another recommendation I have. It's very late Universal. It's under the Universal Monsters, 1959. It's Curse of the Undead. I mentioned this before many episodes ago. It's a vampire western set in a small western community where a woman whose ranch is going to be taken over hires a gunslinger who turns out to be, well, I'll let the title explain it, but Curse of the Undead, 1959, black and white. We're checking out it's an underrated movie with some more classical versions of the vampire than the Universal vampire. This is a more European version of the vampire, but it's worth seeking out. It's a tangential Universal monster recommendation. It's a cartoon from 1994 called Monster Force. It was done when Universal was doing some cartoons of their own. They also did like Exo Squad, and I can't remember some of the other ones off the top of my head. But Monster Force was set in the year 2020, where a Dr. Reed Crowley, a scientist, and some different teenagers, including one who's a descendant of the Wolfman, and one who's a descendant of of Dr. Frankenstein. They fight monsters using high technology and different versions, and the Frankenstein monster's on their side. And it's a great blend of, cartoon actions, but it has all your classic Universal monsters. Dracula's the main villain with Renfield, and there's a guest appearance appearances by the Mummy and the Creature of the Black Lagoon and the werewolves. A lot of Easter eggs if you really follow some of the versions of the Universal monster, if you've seen a lot of the movies. And it's one of the few cartoons I saw that actually has vampires and werewolves, and they're dealt with. It's there's like one DVD that came out around mid-2000s. I think most of the episodes are on YouTube. Check it out. Monster Force, 1994 cartoon. It's fun. We don't have any of the high technology yet, which sucks. Sorry for rambling so long.
No,
hope you guys all have a good night. Goodbye, Miss M. If I ever get up to your neck of the woods, I'll drink some whiskey with you. This is First Time Mike, wishing y'all a good night. Bye.
Great voicemail First Time Mike, as always. Thanks, man. And there was some. I'm not familiar with Monster Force. Any of you guys?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I saw a picture maybe, but I don't.
Let me see if I can pull something up and see.
Zero recollection.
Yeah, I remember Exo Squad. That was.
I do remember Exo Squad.
Monster Force. Oh, here. Okay. A little trailer. Okay, here's. I don't know if this rings a bell to any of you guys.
Monster Force, they fight for freedom wherever there's graveyards. Monster Force is there. They're dead America's best. They'll stay to the fight ones. Monster Force will dare.
There was some bad cartoons in that time frame. Like Phantom 2020.
Well, we got another piece of art from Raven J. And it's Dynamo eating his toys. And it says Kenner, 5th food group.
Thank you.
It's a weird looking pyramid. I like how he did he has a Princess Leia doll, which is correct. Kenner did produce the Star Wars line early on.
I would eat their hands. It's weird. And their hands would be like stretched out. They'd all look like they have tentacles.
Oh, finger sandwiches.
All right, let me put this live on the live feed for people
I
to
didn't
see.
eat my G.I. Joes.
They were hot of plastic.
Right. And they would fucking fly apart.
And the Kung Fu grip would squeeze your heart.
There it is. Kenner, 5th food group. Thanks to Raven J.
Those old G.I. Joes didn't have Kung Fu grip.
No, not Wave 1.
No, and they originally didn't even have a fucking swivel arm.
Oh no, that
I like how he has his pinky up like that.
Oh,
classy.
Yeah, he's a classy guy.
I'm a classy guy.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's amazing, Raven J. All right, Mars. We on to number 2?
Number 2, we're going to start to see a fucking theme here. Number 2 is everybody has their gateway drug to horror. And as I've talked about on this show, I was afraid of everything growing up. I saw 1 minute of a Twilight Zone episode, and I got put into therapy.
Speaking of which, you're going to be talking about that one.
Yeah, I'm going to be appearing on the awesome Twilight Zone retrospective series, Strange Highways.
Huh?
I
want to know which episode that was.
Eye of the Beholder. I'm going to be talking about that with my boy Kevin Hornsby. And I'm very excited about it, but everything scared me. And one thing that made it not scary for me...
Nick's getting on the act and posted a picture of Simpsons character eating toys.
Yeah. One thing that made it not so scary for me is 2 of my beloved comedic actors from the day, and that is Abbott and Costello. And number 2 for me is my gateway drug to horror, and that's Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein, which is still an absolute masterpiece.
Choice pick.
It holds up today. It is still. I think a lot of the dissension and chaos on set made it kind of toned down Abbott and Costello shtick because it was a film that they didn't like have a stage set up for. And like they didn't like a lot of the comedy was like new stuff. It wasn't tried out ahead of time, and I think it was just they were slightly understated sometimes. And Costello, who a lot of people hate, a lot of people go back in time and say that he was kind of a bad person because some of his choices he made, but there are elements of him that he's still like a hero of mine. His commitment to making dates and stuff like that, and not missing shows and stuff. Make him still a hero, but the thing that brought made me love them more and made me love monsters is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
All right, there you go. So we got 2 more voicemails, Mars. Let's play these voicemails, and then afterwards we'll get your number 1.
Okay.
So why don't we hear first from Joshua Libre?
This black cape was found on the scene. Police are baffled.
We think we're dealing with a supernatural being, most likely a mummy. As a precaution, I've ordered the Egyptian wing of the Springfield Museum destroyed. Nice work, Ed.
No, they're wrong. The creature they seek is the walking undead. Nosferatu, das Vampir. A vampire.
These, vampires are make-believe, just like elves, gremlins, and Eskimos.
Yo, what's up, Trick or Treat Radio? Joshua Libre here. Just wanted to chime in a bit on the Universal monster movies. In terms of a favorite one, I gotta come clean. I gotta be honest and confess I haven't seen that many of the original Universal monster movies. So I guess my favorite would have to be Frankenstein because I'm pretty sure that's the only one I've seen. The original black and white version. Yeah, that's the only one I've seen. But I do want to see most of them this coming Halloween season. I want to see the original Dracula, in Spanish, the Spanish version, Bride of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, The Mummy, The Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, at least I know there's more, but I want to start with those basic ones. I do like, in terms of favorite monsters, I do like the design of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think that would probably be my favorite monster, I guess, even though I haven't seen the movie. But just from looking at stills and reading up on it, I would have to go with the Creature from the Black Lagoon as my favorite monster. But I do want to give a shout out to the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie, because I did see that, and I think it's a Universal movie. And I really liked that movie. I know it sort of came and went and didn't really cause much excitement, but when I saw it, I thought it was pretty good. It was rated R. It had some pretty good horror violence. It was pretty graphic. The effects were really good, even though it was CG, but the CG was really good. I think Joe Johnston directed it, I like that they set it back in the old Victorian sort of time period, I think.
Anthony Hopkins.
But yeah, I thought that movie was underrated. I don't know if many people saw it or I don't know what you guys thought about it, but I thought that Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie was pretty good. But yeah, this coming Halloween season, I want to check out as many as I can. At least start with the basic ones and then move up to the team ups or the matchups. The Wolfman versus this guy and that guy, and Dracula meets such and such person, and Abbott and Costello and all that. But I do want to start with at least those basic monster movies. But anyways, thank you guys for the time. Have a great show, and talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right, Joshua Libre, thanks, bud. And Frankenstein's a fine pick, and looks like you got some more watching to do this Halloween. So Feel free to let us know if your choice changes after you see some of those other ones. All right, and by the way, that bit at the end from the beginning of that voicemail was amazing from The Simpsons. All right, so let's finish off the feedback with our boy Nathan Cotton Coy Vance Duke.
I feel like we're missing one now.
Nope. Is there one that you know of that I don't know of?
I feel like Dick told me he sent one.
Nope. Didn't get anything from Nick. This is from Nathan Cotton Coy Vance Duke.
Hey guys, this is Cody, giving y'all a call. Just wanted to say, listening to this most recent episode, and one of the things that makes this show so good, y'all cover a new movie most weeks out of the year, and at that rate, you're bound to cover something periodically that I just don't have any interest in. That's the case with this. There's basically no chance I ever see It Stains the Sands Red. But the review is really great to listen to. Thanks largely to nothing being funnier than Monster Zero feeling ganged up on after he makes some weird long-winded roundabout point. Yeah. Everybody being what the fuck are you talking about? And then people laughing and him going oh, the sheer volume that it gets to is really something. It's one of my favorite things in podcasting is Monster Zero getting insanely defensive. So keep up the good work. I hope you guys enjoy The Mummy. And I'll be listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Cody.
Yeah, thanks, Cody. Take a hike, you asshole.
My favorite part of last week, by the way, going back and listening to that, and the most absurd part is that Monster Zero saying that Johnny Wolfenstein and I always agree.
I know.
And we never agree. We never, ever agree. I would say out of the people who have, a trick-to-treat ratio, I would say that, Johnny Wolfenstein and I are, the furthest apart.
No, I'm just saying, if you two had the chance to blow each other, you'd do it.
Nice.
Who's to say we didn't have the chance?
Right? Jesus Christ. They've had the chance, guys.
Well,
there's plenty of opportunity. It doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Hey, until I see video, I don't believe it.
We even figured out our mode of transportation missing.
Don't even open that.
The mode of transportation.
It's cartwheeling. It's good.
Ask him what led to the cartwheels. No, don't ask him that.
Oh, shit.
Monster Zero last week making fun of Johnny Wolfenstein's laugh is the greatest thing in the history of podcasting. You were so mad; it was incredible.
You were. Yeah.
I wasn't that mad. I was just trying to.
You were mad.
No, I wasn't that mad. I was more frustrated over the fact that I'm trying to make this point that I was making, and you guys are waving it off like it's nothing, and it's like. It makes sense.
Which point was it? Was it the...
It's the tire.
The tire.
You couldn't figure out how they got the tire.
Oh, because it's integral to the plot.
It's not integral to the plot.
Then why is it needed?
Because it's integral to the characters involved.
I'm
not getting involved with it.
It's integral to your fucking rat brain.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Does the main character have a coupon? That's why he went to Monroe Tire.
Now see, this is what I'm talking about. Now you just bring it off to a different branch that shouldn't even be there.
No, I think it's obvious that for Christmas
a new level of absurdity.
Right, his grandma got him a Walmart gift card, and should he use that?
Fuck
or
off.
Does he? The Monroe Tire is closer, but they're trying to escape from the zombie apocalypse. So maybe you get an oil change. Now
see what you're doing is you're trying to. No, wait. You're trying to push this bit that doesn't even exist. Okay, stop it while you're behind.
With these steel belt radials.
Oh, what? Oh, fuck! You got to go on the Consumer Reports.
Best Best tires for putting around zombies' neck in
go.
2017.
You can all go fuck each other, okay?
Then how are we gonna get around?
It was in the Consumer Report.
Super glue your dick to his
it up
mouth.
on Yelp.
Super glue your dick to his mouth, and super glue your puppy little dick to his mouth. All right, all you motherfuckers.
And what do you do while this is going on?
I'll be filming. I'll be filming it and jerking off at the same time.
Doing the tuck dance by himself.
Goddamn right. Now, hey, someone's got to have some fun out of this. Someone's got to have some fun out of this. May as well be me.
What a weird fantasy.
Of all the options.
Let's check Consumer Reports and find the best tire.
Oh, go fuck
for
off.
wrapping around a zombie.
You fucking nub.
Get the radio.
Millipede.
I meant to say, by the way, the reason that
and you don't even know how to use a goddamn phone. Who are you to talk about anybody?
the reason that Frankenstein was number 3, by the way, and not number 1,
Yes.
is that nowhere in that film's 88-minute running time do you ever see Dr. Frankenstein buy the electrodes that he puts in Frankenstein's.
And how long was he in school for?
Yeah.
Was it a 4-year?
Yeah, he could have faked that degree.
You're branching this off to something that had absolutely nothing to do with what I was talking about, and you all sound like a bunch of douchebags.
Wait, why didn't we see Tom Cruise's resume
Seriously.
in The Mummy? Like, I got to see his resume. I don't know if he was qualified.
I don't think you're qualified to even produce this goddamn show. Shut the fuck up.
Like, how did he get to Mesopotamia? You don't even know.
Did he even have a passport?
Actually, he's.
I mean, we don't know.
No, he's 1% Mesopotamian. That's how he went back to the Holy Land, where it was birth.
The cradle of civilization. Yeah, I mean, for all we know, like, Tom Cruise didn't even have a passport.
That's true. How did he get there?
How do we know? We didn't see it.
And how'd they become friends?
I think he could have averted this whole thing if he just put a tie around the mummy's neck.
You know, that's a good point.
Yeah. What?
Had her
It's still about radial.
Had her drag a sled through the desert.
Michelin Man.
That's not a bad point.
That's true.
This for you, Cody.
Yeah. There you go, Cody. Raven J says, I like a few Papa Roach songs. I agree that they're cheesy, but a couple of those songs were part of my life.
Yeah. So
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably much younger than we are, though.
Oh, shit.
I had cancer for a while, but doesn't mean I want to listen to it.
Corny says, whoa, I totally forgot about Monster Force.
Wow.
First time Mike says, the Spanish version of Dracula is really good.
Hell yeah.
He also
Dracula.
says, I'm really jealous of Joshua Libre's voicemails.
I am too.
And first time Mike says, I forgot to mention that comic scribe Marv Wolfman was involved with Monster Force. Whoa.
Really?
Well, his name is Wolfman.
Right.
That is true. Well, Dynamo, I think it's time for number 1.
So, if you look like me, you will always kind of.
You know, when you start off like that, you know it's not going to end well.
No. You're always going to love the monster more. I've always associated with the monster more than like the hero in most things. That's why, as much as I like Batman and stuff like that, like I've always really loved the Hulk and the Thing. Like I've always just felt, more at home with the monsters and more like a monster. And I know it's hard to imagine with these nice glasses and this awesome scarf. So in no more tragic of a tale of a monster has ever been told, no more beautiful of a story, no more of a poetic tale of the misconception of what equals love or companionship has ever happened, has ever been committed to film. It's funny. It's state of the art for the time. In fact, it's probably way ahead of its time. There are things in this film that you wouldn't see again until the height of genre filmmaking in like the 50s, when you started to go into a lot of the fantasy type stuff, and stuff that you wouldn't see this good until Disney, in my opinion, got its hat in the genre film game, and that's the James Whale's beautiful and poetic and satirical and downright heartbreaking Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I had a feeling that might be your number one.
Which is, not only the greatest Universal film, probably in the top 20 greatest films of all time.
It's a fantastic flick.
Like, you really got... and I think that, the return to, like, but not as great, really captured the sadness, and Karloff was really firing on all cylinders here. And I think it's just a beautiful and great film. And, like, I remember watching this and just being like, wow, like, I feel like I get it. I get it. I understand that type of, or understood, I should say, that type of lonely. It's just great film.
And to think it was almost never made. James Whale didn't want to do Bride of Frankenstein.
Right. I mean, it would have happened, but
it wouldn't have been the same
movie that it is now.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm definitely not surprised. That probably would have been my pick if I had to choose for you. So.
Yeah, the special effects in that movie are fantastic. The little people in the jars.
Sure.
I mean, that is seamless.
Oh, yep.
Virtually seamless, and it's unbelievable. Have you ever seen it, Raven Shadow?
I've never seen it. No.
Well, we'll get on it, man, because you're missing out on one of the all-time greats.
I want to.
And just looking real quick, because I was curious, it looks like Javier Bardem is playing Frankenstein's monster.
Oh.
I think that's a good choice. He's a good actor.
You'll find it very scary, Raven Shadow. At one point, Frankenstein's weed whacker breaks.
Yeah. I'd be pissed off too.
Yeah.
Smoke, drink.
I'd hang out with that Frankenstein.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, we'd get in some trouble together.
Yeah.
I was going to make espresso.
Well, there you go, Dynamo. You want to run down the top 13 just so they're all together if people are curious? Well, actually, while you look...
In case they're tuning in now?
No. If they want to just hear them all at once, I'm saying.
Number 13, Spanish Dracula. Number 12, The Creature Returns. Number 11, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Number 10, Son of Frankenstein. Number 9, The Mummy. Remember Waxwork? Waxwork's good. Number 8, The Invisible Man. Number 7, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Number 6, The Wolfman. Number 5, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Number 4, Phantom of the Opera. Number 3, Frankenstein. Number 2, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. And number 1, Bride of Frankenstein.
MZ, do you have an opinion? Do you have a favorite? I think yours is probably...
It's Bride.
The thing,
yeah, without question, it's Bride. That movie's... I've probably seen Bride more than any other Universal horror film.
Yeah.
It's just a perfect
See you later.
mixture of horror, emotion, comedy, tension, human kindness involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a perfect film. You know, I'll go so far as saying it's almost a perfect film. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raven Shadow, seriously, get on it, man.
Yeah.
You
No,
gotta
I'd
see
like
this
it.
movie.
I can...
And Dr. Pretorius.
I think I can hook you up, Raven Shadow.
For real?
I got a
Yeah.
copy of it. So
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Pretorius, no, I won't give in. I won't give in. Pretorius.
And Creepy Girl says, "Am I seriously old? I forgot it was Wednesday. So did I miss anything monumental? Anyone get naked?"
Nah, babe.
Come on, MZ, whip it out.
And
okay.
First time Mike says agreed on Bride of Frankenstein. So there you have it. I think that is going to start to wind things down. We'll wait for Ms. M to get back. I think I want to give her a proper goodbye.
I have a couple quick questions for her too.
Okay. You have a couple quick questions for us?
Nope. Could you fit into that little black dress?
I don't think you want me to.
Nope. Well,
Raven Shadow
I
probably
do have
could.
I do have nice legs.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I would say you definitely have the second best legs here.
Second best, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Dominatrix, I mean.
I thought you were talking about yourself.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Maybe third best. I have really good legs.
The hell you do.
I do. They're all muscle.
I can't see him because he's wearing
Your
big boy
head's all
pants.
muscle.
Huh? I'll tell you this: if she wasn't here, these pants would be off now. I'll show you.
Why would your pants be off?
Because I'd show how awesome my legs are.
Well, I can show off my legs, and I don't have to take off my pants.
No, you don't. That's true. There was it was quiet when Ms. M walks in, completely quiet.
Everybody shut up. Stop.
Shut up. There was talk about removing pants when you were gone, so I'm glad you came back.
It was
Miss M, stick up.
It was getting ugly in here.
I think everybody should take their pants off.
From somebody that's seen me without my pants on. My legs pretty good, right? It's the only good part.
They're not bad.
See?
It's got some good gams.
All right, Mars, you said you had a couple questions.
Yeah, there's I mentioned earlier, and just real quick, we'll navigate away from us for a second. Just because I love it and I'm a big fan. Could you talk for a minute about your other gig?
You mean when I sing with Nikki Luparelli and the Gold Diggers?
Please.
At least someone could say her last name right.
Raven
Finally.
Shadow?
Luparelli.
I say it wrong.
Yes.
Well, it's all right.
Rhymes with Poopa Smelly.
I bet she loves that.
That's her joke. She learned that in the 3rd grade. No.
Well, we got Raven J did a picture of Ms. M.
Thanks. I love that. That's going to be my new profile picture.
What?
Look at MZ in the background creeping.
What?
Oh, God.
hell's he doing?
I got to put this one up now. Okay, Ms. M, please.
I really want. I don't know how I'm gonna.
Oh, what the hell, Raven J?
How I'm gonna pay him, but I really want Raven J to do at least part of the Deadites comic.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raven J.
There you go.
So, I sing a little bit with Nikki Luparelli and the Gold Diggers. I'm a backing vocalist. I support her. She's an incredible singer, and we do. It's all cover shows, but Nikki produces them in a grand fashion.
Yes.
It's always, I would say about between 50 and 70% of the shows we do are not just a band singing. It's a band, and we have burlesque dancers and aerialists, and there's a lot going on the whole time. There's a lot of comedy involved, and we just pick an artist and do it. We've done Pink Floyd, we've done Led Zeppelin, we've done Prince, Madonna, Michael Jackson, and we do David Bowie. Bowie. David Boobie, we like to call it. Nice. And we do that every, there'll be a David Boobie coming up at the Oberon Theater in Cambridge on Black Friday and whatever Saturday is.
That's a legit gig.
That's a legit gig.
Yeah.
The Oberon Theater, we pack that place, we sell it out. And it's a lot of fun. It's just, I don't know. We had a very cool gig this summer. We played at the Museum of Science.
Oh, yeah. You
in
did
the
like
planetarium.
One of the
Yeah, on a Thursday, they had the Summer Thursdays thing going, and we it's so bizarre because you're in the planetarium, and the planetarium is designed for people to look at the ceiling, not at the band. Not at anything else, right? So there's the projector in the center, and then there's the seats around the outside in a circle, and they set the band up around the projector. So if you sat in front of the drummer, that's all you were going to see unless you looked up at the ceiling at the cool stuff they were putting on the ceiling too. So we are I'm not sure I'm supposed to say this publicly, but I'm gonna anyway.
Uh-oh.
Because maybe if I put it out there, it'll happen for sure. We're gonna be doing another night at the Museum of Science in Boston on February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. Yep. I'm not sure what we're going to settle on. That I think is still the thing that's being discussed.
Gotcha.
But I've got an incredibly busy October because not only am I singing with the Deadites, I am also singing with Nikki Luparelli and the Gold Diggers. We're doing a 3-night engagement at the Bull Mansion in Worcester.
Nice.
And it's a haunted speakeasy.
Ooh.
So we're going to be playing a little bit of everything. We'll be doing some jazz at the beginning. There'll be, for the VIP night, there'll be dance lessons and free champagne and...
free champagne, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
going. I
Free
can park.
champagne.
I can park across the street.
You could park across. You could park right in their parking lot. They have a whole parking lot.
Nice.
Wow.
And
they got doors and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. The concept is that, the band was murdered at the Bull Mansion many years ago in the 1920s, 1930s, and we just come back and haunt it every Halloween.
Nice.
So we go up there and we play kind of ghouly, and we have actors that are coming around, and they're designed not to scare you, but to engage with you as the undead dead, whatever.
I gotta say, I find bands with fake backstories ridiculous.
And I sing under the pseudonym Susan Katinsky.
Who's that broad?
I know, right? She
I have a
great.
crush on her too. Speaking of the Deadites, every lineup of the Deadites have been neat in their own way, except for the one where it's just me and Tiny. That one was really pathetic. It's basically him playing and me pacing back and forth like Groucho Marx had a stroke. But I'm pretty excited about this lineup of the Deadites. Yeah. But I feel like there's a very nice unified front that we're not used to. The Deadites have sort of historically.
It makes it sound like a like a gang, a unified front.
Well, kind of to agree.
When you're a jet,
it's like a family.
You're a jet all the way.
Nice. That was for me and you. The gay ones. But I think that the Deadites have always kind of been historically made up of a bunch of individuals, and I feel like this one is kind of more of a, the family is starting to be knit. How excited for Rock and Shock are you?
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, like I said, it's going to be a busy October, and the best part is that it's getting kicked off by my favorite show of the year. Like I just love our Halloween show. I love the way people get involved. I love that people come and they're dressed up. I love that they dance. I love that they dance with me. And then to be able to have the lead-in be this incredible, the Rock and Shock, where there's going to be so much buzz generated and people are going to be just so excited about all things horror and Halloween and cosplay and all of that. I just think it's going to be fucking great.
It's good. Hopefully we can get you two actual. It's been a couple of years since you've been able to come down and shake everybody's hand at Rock and Shock.
Well,
so.
I've been away. I've
You're
had
right.
a lot of trips that happen to fall on the same weekend, but I know for a fact that that's not happening this year. So
Good.
I will be around, and I'll be popping in.
Yeah,
a little meet and greet.
I'm super
Walking around.
super excited for this year.
Mostly, I like to try to creep on the celebs that are there.
One thing I'm excited about is that there are just so many people that in our travels, like Trick or Treat Radio, going to con, and just being around and the show. So many people that are coming that I want you to meet in real life. I'm very, very excited for that. So it should be good. I don't think you've ever met our buddy Reverend Scott, and he is maybe the funniest human being on earth. So yeah, it's good. But yeah, it should be good. I literally can't wait, and I don't know. The best part about Miss M is that the less I can sing, the better it is for all you guys. So should be good. We'll have announcements pretty soon about hosts of the show and some maybe some new members, and it should be it's gonna be great. If nothing else, it's gonna be great to hang out with me and Miss M and Johnny and the boys here, but. If you come out on the 13th, you get a rare opportunity to see Tiny White out of his natural habitat.
Oh, it's divine.
Very rare.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be good.
Feel free to bring flasks filled with Basil Hayden, or really Basil Hayden. Just bring me Basil Hayden. That'll be happy.
I am campaigning for us to play earlier because I want to get torn up on the tail end of the night. So it's been a while.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I got a little drunk at my benefit show. But
A little bit?
I kept I stood next to Geneva, so I looked stone cold sober comparatively. But I wasn't that drunk. Was I that drunk?
No.
I did get caught in a girl fight. Did I even tell this story?
No.
I walked the Red Queen back to her car, and we met up with Nightmare and his lovely lady.
Oh.
They were going into another bar, and from the bar they went into emerged like this wild like brawl. So like this fight got in front of us. I jumped into the Red Queen mobile, and you know how in the rape parking lot in the back there, the
Did you say rape?
Yeah.
Okay.
That parking lot is commonly known as rape lot.
Yeah.
By all the ladies that we know. No one that I know was raped there, as far as I know. It's just scary.
The parking spaces, you know how they're set up like slanted at that one part?
Yeah.
So if there's cars on either side, you pull out at like an awkward angle, and the fight broke out like right. So we couldn't back up because we had already pulled out to a point where there was a car behind us. And
How is it that Nightmare didn't pull some fucking crazy MMA BJJ shit and ruin everyone?
I think he was in there getting drunk somewhere.
Oh, all right.
So if you're with his
He's
special
kinda
lady
badass.
and you're fighting, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
she's so cute.
Oh, it's outrageous.
I love her.
It's why it's part of the reason he's an honorary Deadite. He's definitely not punching his weight. I don't care how good an MMA is. But so we're excited for Rock and Shock. If to see the best front lady in the world isn't enough of a reason to come to the Cove Music Hall, come check out the Cove Music Hall, especially if you live around here and you happen to be a listener of the show and you haven't gone because, when we were all growing up, the Cove had kind of a stinky reputation to it. They let crappy bands like Suspiria go play. But now it's probably one of the most beautiful clubs that I've ever had the opportunity to play in, and I've played in a few.
It's just a different place than it was in the other iterations. I mean, it's not. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, so to speak, but
even if they speak ill of us.
Even if they speak ill of us. But I mean, I loved the Cove. I loved the Lucky Dog for totally different reasons, and I love the Cove Music Hall because they, they put a lot of work into the place, and they brought it up to the next level in architecturally, and have put a lot of time and effort and care into preserving what came before and making it a little bit of a celebration of what came before and not just like wiping it off the map. And it's nice.
Yeah, I agree. It's really nice, and the stage is good. Though they've added a whole bunch of stuff that me and Aries have to go down and rework our whole stage configuration, which should be interesting.
But no exit sign in all the photos. That'll be great.
Yeah, and how many times are you and I gonna fall onto something or off something? That's all I could think of when I saw it. It's like, wow. Ooh, me and Miss Emma are gonna have barked shins. Yeah. But they added a bunch of risers in the back, which is gonna be cool visual. But we're gonna run into them a lot.
Yeah, most likely.
But and that doesn't even count. There's like gonna be a whole somebody else in the way probably. But that's the other good thing about Myra. We can just step over her. But so it's gonna be great. I can't thank you enough for coming on here today. As soon as I realized what we were doing, I knew it would fall in your wheelhouse. So thank you very much for coming.
I was laughing because Wolfie wanted wanted the Mummy to be more horror and less action. And I'm like, yeah, but I wouldn't be here.
Fair enough.
I'm kind of a baby when it comes to movies. I want them to make me laugh, and I definitely don't want to be scared too much or cry. I never want to cry in a movie because I cry enough in real life.
Well, in that case, I'm glad it was more action adventure because it was nice having you here. So
it's great.
Always a pleasure.
And you're always welcome. I know, keep you up late on a school night sometimes, but every now and then, whenever you can make it, it's amazing. So. All right, well, I think that's going to do it. Everyone go check out Ms. M and all of her awesome, awesome shows coming up at The next one was the one in October. Is that the one that's?
The next one, we're actually at the Cove Music Hall in September.
Oh, nice.
Hold on, I can look at my fancy calendar here since
The Pimp of Promotion should be doing this.
someone put
I'm looking at it right now. I might
in.
be going to that show.
There is what night is that? I don't even know. All right, I lied. I don't know when it is. I think it's the 16th. Yeah, it's the 16th.
Okay.
So September 16th at the Cove Music Hall, there'll be an incarnation of Nikki Luparelli and the Gold Diggers. I'm a gold digger. And then the next thing you'll see me in will be the October 13th with the Deadites, if you don't see me at Rockachok before. And then October 27th and 28th, we will be the Haunted Speakeasy at Apple Mansion in Worcester.
I've never been there, so...
So there you go. There's some awesome stuff coming up. If you guys are in their area, please go see Ms. M. You won't regret it, or maybe you will.
You will. Trust me. I'll fucking make sure you do.
Yeah, if you get on our bad side, you will regret it. So, well, I think that's going to do it. So let's say goodbye to MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
All right, Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Ms. M, thank you so much for coming in. It was awesome having you in and hanging out with you.
Thank you.
And Marsman.
I love you.
I love you too.
I thought you were talking to me.
Right. I was talking to Raven Shadow. Remember, children, wherever you go, they...
All right, everyone. Thank you to Ms. M for coming in. Thanks to everyone hanging out in the chat room and to everyone who contributed with voicemails, emails, all that stuff. Thank you, guys. And next week, we're going to do a double feature. We're checking out 2 Netflix movies. We're going to watch... The Transfiguration and also Death Note. So if you guys want to watch them and send your thoughts, please feel free to send us an email or a voicemail, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. We'd love to hear from you guys. And that's going to do it. So we will see you guys next week for episode 267. Until then, watch some Universal Monster movies.
Thanks for listening to Trick or Treat Radio.